question is this, is that as Americans who have decided, I think, why Trump won, to not world police, and for Creasy and Miguel, like, genuine question, brothers, like, you know the cost of war. Sure.
I don't know, man. I was just a tool, dude. I'm not a decision maker.
Just was a gun and somebody pulled your trigger and you voted for Trump. Now we both
I didn't vote for Trump.
Imagine that Iran have this nuclear vision work active, and now we're losing the half of the humanity because somebody crazy called Trump tried to stop Iran. And by stopping Iran, he bombing the nuclear.
Yeah, we were stopped.
As I say, Iran have no weapon of mass destructive, but we
hold on.
clear it from the weapon of the mass destruction. Yeah.
So you're getting all emotional, dude. All I'm saying is that, like, what we bombed was their ability to make nuclear stuff in the future. We didn't bomb their.
2 weeks ago in America is to make America better. Yeah.
I think
American for Asians like you, killing American people in American soil, like you, who's doing this in Iraq.
Yeah, but Mohammed, let me get your take on this, right? Because a lot of people in the West don't understand that, yes, Alex Pritt, and this is good, but also in the last Iranian uprising, by predominantly not Muslim people, and some Muslim people, but people against the Ayatollah, by the way, not born in Iran, 90,000 Iranians were disappeared during just the last uprising. And so, go ahead, Jason.
Sorry, I think when saying unjust that's a pretty subjective word. We haven't been debating about that yet. We can't just simply label an operation as, unjust or not right. Again, there are consequences for something, for operation or for a thing. So before we can get any deep insights about those consequences, we shouldn't be saying, labeling anything. And how do I say? I think, both nuclear and dropping a nuclear bomb, for example, let's say dropping a nuclear bomb on Japan during World War II, I don't think it's a wrong thing to do. Because, people has estimated.
Wow. Now, I'm so sorry.
Again, sorry.
Can I ask two questions? And I'm so sorry because I'm.
Can I finish my statement first?
No, because I'm top left. But I'm this is the last thing. I swear to God, I will give everybody on the stage $100 USD in Bitcoin if I say anything else after I say this. I promise you, Jason.
All right.
If anyone is an American in this room, I hope you know the following: the first and second nuclear bombs in Japan, those were not individually authorized by the President of the United States. When the President of the United States found out that the military dropped those, that the military was about to drop on the third Japanese city, the President said, no, do not drop the third bomb, and you can never drop another nuclear bomb unless I say so. And I'm going to mute up. I'm so sorry for everything tonight. Maple syrup.
Yeah, it means the third bomb Trump did it.
Bomb.
In Iran, not in Japan.
I think there's do we have any other options? I mean, there's data showing, if, for example, we don't use any nuclear weapons, and we are, for example, simply using regular military operations, 1 million American soldiers will be killed when conquering Japan or when attacking Japan. That's a terrible result. And we can't. If you have been killed on Iwo Jima, how many American soldiers have been killed on Iwo Jima? How many? Have you counted? Have you counted?
Calm down.
If no one is using, if there's no nuclear bomb, how many more lives, American lives, will have to be consequences of the war?
The nuclear bombing, yeah. And I'm telling you,
you never.
Shut up.
So what are the consequences? What are the options you have?
You try to justify.
What options do you have?
Can you justify that if that happened to you in New York today? If Japan tried to do the same in New York today, are you going to be happy and you say that will save a lot of other wars and no Japanese people will die? It's the same, yeah? A stupidness. Are you stupid? This is my question.
Sorry, I can't really hear. I can't really hear you. Sorry, but again,
Of course, because
on your left hand side, there's one on your left hand side, there's 1 million American people. On your right hand side, there's 2 nuclear bombs. Which one are you gonna use? That's a simple question, and that's the only 2 options they have.
That's what they've been told you. And you
In a single war on Iwo Jima, and again, how many people? Do you know how many people? Do you know how many American soldiers have been killed in Philippines when battling Japanese soldiers? You never know. You never read the history. You never read the history. You never read the history. And do you know? And do you know at that time what the emperor is encouraging? The emperor in Japan is encouraging. They're encouraging each Japanese people to fight till the end of their life. Fight till the end of their life, regardless you are a kid or you're an elder person. Just fight till the end. We're gonna take everything, take every cost. They're gonna take every cost to kill American soldiers. They're gonna. Do you know that's the history? Have you read those history before?
You want to talk. If you want to just
have you read the history before? That's
man, listen.
I don't want to talk to a person who haven't who don't even know about the history.
You are clever, yes. You want to justify bombing a nuclear bomb because that saves American people. Do it in the opposite way. Make it Japan.
Save American soldiers.
Make America now being bombed by Japan. New York or Washington by the same bomb. And Japan will justify as you are. But you are now American, you will say, yes, that's right.
America is not a party who started. America is not a party who started the war. America is not a party. America is not a party who started. America is not a party who started the war. America is not a party who started the war.
Who gives you?
You know that? That's a fact, right? Who attacked the Pearl Harbor first? It's Japanese people. It's Japanese people. They attacked the Pearl Harbor first. They killed a lot of American soldiers. They killed a lot of American soldiers first. They killed a lot of American soldiers first.
You defend the undefensible. You stupid.
Hold on.
And you keep going on.
$100 Bitcoin for everybody. $100 Bitcoin for everybody. Yeah. And the replays are on. Fuck yes. Pay up, bitch.
Again, Mr. Jason, if you try to justify the bombing, the nuclear bombing, every single war in
it's not Mr. Jason, it's Mr. D. Thank you.
Mr. Idiot will be any single killer will have his own justification to say he is right. It means now you are just only eating shit by saying nuclear bomb is something good if it's for America and will be horrible if against America. It means now you have no principle.
And they're being killed this way. It's disgusting. You could look these articles up, but Perplexity isn't giving you those articles, is it?
Your dad lied.
So no, I stand firm with saying that Palestinians, and for me,
happy because there is some merciful here. Was American president saying no for the third bomb, but he delayed it until Trump come and he bombed two of them, B-12, two of them in the soil of Iran, in the middle of half humanity living. He could make any problem now, and now we're losing the half of human beings, 4 billion people. Imagine this. Imagine that already Iran have a nuclear active downstairs there, and you bomb it, and now what we doing right now? We're not here right now. And now because you have...
Well, that Palestinians would try to stop them, that the Palestinians would not put up with it. So they took them, and this was a secret operation, or secret operations that these resistance groups did, and Palestinians did not have any control over them, because Palestinians were under occupation, and we had
occupation, genocide, apartheid. How many times do you think you'll say that word till you drop down in the grave? I mean, how many times are you going to repeat yourself?
Genocide or apartheid. You weren't listening. Those words didn't come out of my mouth. So now that I've addressed that, Ali, do you want to move on?
No, we just hopefully do you agree to disagree with me on this?
I will respectfully do so.
I'm not blaming your typical good Palestinian citizen living in West Bank.
I swear to God, I'm not granny, bro. Hey, look, I don't know. I can't tell. Nah, you can't blame the leadership because
they secretly.
Listen, I'm not a PA supporter, okay? But you can't blame the.
Canada was dying in Europe. Canadians were dying in Europe, while Americans were having sold out Nazi rallies in Madison Square Garden. The whole refugee thing that America has, like they show up at our borders.
Fucking history hypnosis courses are hilarious.
The stuff that Trump doesn't do anymore. Do you know why that was put in place?
Why, Jeremy?
It was because, well, you guys were having sold out Madison Square Garden Nazi rallies and beating up Jews who were protesting them. There was boatloads of Jewish refugees from Germany showing up at your shores who you refused access. You sent them back to Germany to die in concentration camps. Literally,
Jeremy, don't tell them the truth about history.
Also,
Jeremy Hill from Cloaked Wireless.
Right, and so the nuance
The 800-pound historian
is important. When it costs money to go to war, makes things different. That's why America didn't even fucking jump in until Hawaii.
Hawaii? The Pineapple Wars?
And we're on the verge of war in Iran, or not we, God forbid. America is on the verge of war again with Iran.
Canada's coming with us. You better come with us, otherwise we'll take you down with us, Canada.
Pay to police the world, aka prop up our petrodollar. But Creasy, what's your take? Like, Creasy has a bet. Should America go and fuck with Iran and free that freedom fighter from the oppression of the Ayatollah? Or fuck Iran? Fuck Somalia. Fuck those AIDS people in Somalia.
Fuck Iran. They don't give a fuck about no Iran, bro. Fuck America. Fuck American too. Why not? Fuck America. Fuck. You could fuck us.
I'm sorry, which just so regarding. I mean, I'm just curious regarding the nuclear bomb thing. What do you think? So if you think dropping nuclear bomb on Japan is wrong, what any other options do you have? Do you think it's reasonable and appropriate?
Yeah, it's a great question.
In the war.
Who bombing this? They deserve a Nobel in peace. Is that right?
It's a great question, Jason. And actually, that's kind of...
This hat is super normal. Super normal. Isn't it a beautiful hat? $9 at Kroger, manufactured in China. In China.
Hold on. Let me respond. Mohammed. He deserves a FIFA.
Mohammed.
Your question is a good question. Right? Is that like, did Hiroshima stop the war? And millions, not millions, or hundreds of thousands of innocent people died, babies, everything. And Crazy, I'm so sorry, man. Miguel, I'm so sorry. Jesus. I want that take. Go ahead, brother.
There's arguments that Russia was really the one to stop the war. But I could be wrong.
No, Miguel, you're not going to be like that. You're not just going to be like, oh, here's a little tease, but like, no. You can't just drop that and be like, fuck,
I'm not one of those guys that talks with companies. I just spit out the
Miguel literally just said, I'm not a Canadian, non-fucking military piece of shit like Jeremy. Phil's rings by talking over everyone and just throws away Satoshi says he can't keep his mouth shut. I have more discipline than that. I drink more maple syrup. Miguel, how dare you? And thank you for your service. Not you, Creasy, but Miguel.
Dude, I honestly don't know.
You're not fucking welcome anyway, Canadian guy.
I don't
Your
actually
service.
hear me the details entirely, but I think that the Russians were advancing towards the west, and I think that's what may have. And I think the Chinese too at the same time. But I don't know. I've heard that from arguments from different people. I've read about it. I can't remember exactly the details, but I
simple, though. I think dropping a nuclear bomb is a good option, and it is not necessarily good because good is very subjective. But
Okay,
it's
Mr.
only.
If we have no
Sorry.
where is the best place to bomb them? To stop what's
Sorry, excuse me. Can I bomb it?
Why don't bomb back in dispute after?
He already agrees that bombing a nuclear bomb is something good and beneficial.
I like what you said, bomb back.
Now, right today, where we can bomb a nuclear bomb to be benefit human beings.
Burn.
Okay, so let me finish. So at that time, there's a statistic prediction saying that if not using any like irregular method, for example, like nuclear bomb, a lot of American soldiers, like 1 million of them, will be dead when boarding Japan. And again, a lot of Japanese people, like far more than you could possibly imagine, like several millions of them will be dead because every one of them has been brainwashed by Bushido. They're saying they should fight until the last moment. They should try their every best to kill any American soldiers according to Japan. That is the history. That is the history. Oh, excuse me. Can I finish my word first? So they'll kill any Americans aborting Japan, and there is like historical evidence, in Tokyo, in the museum. There's all documents.
Gonna come here and the Palestinians are gonna give you a fucking home. She's such a cunt. Thank you for the time, people. Thank you. I'll sit and listen.
That was so sweet. Thank you so much for that beautiful, introduction. That was really heartwarming. Yeah. I don't.
Emerald, do you mind if I just?
No, let Ambrose talk.
No, it's okay. Let him. I have time.
Concluding comments.
No, concluding now.
I
want to hear Nimrod's talk.
No. Stay, Ali. You want to listen to this dumb cunt? Please. Stay.
Whoa.
She's a terrible person.
Whoa.
Please stay and listen to her. It's gonna make your morning. I guarantee you, Ali. Please stay and listen to her. It's the most funniest shit you're gonna hear in your entire life.
All right, Ali, you got 30 seconds.
So, thank you. So, the point that is trying to make, every time there is discussions about the Palestinian plight, you blame it on the leadership, and the question is why Palestinians do not elect better leader than Abbas and Hamas. That's number one. It's a point that you got to think about. And the second, when we talk about suicide bombing, you immediately go to the French groups. There had not been a single occasion here that you had made a case that presented a situation that you could blame the leadership of the Palestinian Hamas or the Palestinian Authority and presented a case that Hamas and Palestinian, they've done some atrocities against Israel. So you lose credibility because you're not willing, even for the.
What I said, suicide bombings are terrible and they're wrong.
Hold on.
You have not. I'll be finished. Emerald, I appreciate. So you're not willing even to take the responsibility for the leaders that Palestinian people have selected. These are valid comments to be made, but I'm going to land with this. I fully understand that the terrorist organization like Hamas has terrorized the own people in Gaza. Who would be the courageous man and woman could say anything against Hamas? You lose your head. Thank you.
Okay, Nimrod's.
Okay. Well, I don't know where to start, but I think it's important to begin at the beginning.
What does that mean?
That it's hard to understand.
It's important to begin in the beginning. Is she gonna start telling us about Adam and Eve or something?
Occupied people, right? There's a difference.
Yeah, Adam and Eve were occupied by God.
Acts of terrorism.
Or according to this atheist, the atheist guy.
People need to understand. I'll put a link
Oh
in the
my
chat in a few minutes. It's
god.
a report called Divide and Conquer. It's a very comprehensive report.
It's a game called chess.
Where they describe the doctrine that has been used throughout the decades in order to perpetuate the occupation and the slow ethnical cleanse. And part of that doctrine also includes identifying potential leaders and preventing them from gaining support and gaining any type of let's say, unity behind them. So every time you would see a potential leader, that person would be targeted. I think the latest example, well, everybody knows about Barghouti, but I think Zacharias Beatty is also a good example for that. And it's very precise. It's very methodological and systematic in that. So that's when it comes to leadership. Did Palestinians elect Hamas in Gaza? Yeah, they did. 48.7% of the people in Gaza in 2006 voted for Hamas, mostly because they simply hated the PA, which is not a good enough reason to vote for somebody like Hamas, but it is what it is. However, from that moment on, there were no elections, and for one reason only, because Israel prevented that from happening. It's part of the divide and conquer policy, right? Israel, whether you want to blame Hamas for it or the PA for it, both corrupt, either corrupt. I'm not talking internal Palestinian politics, right? But the fact is that the policy of preventing unity within Palestinian society has always been one of the pillars of the occupation in Zionism. There's just no denying it. Multiple academic scholars have written about this, and it's just a fact, right? So nothing justifies hurting innocent civilians. But if you're stupid enough not to read history and understand that an oppressed people will always end up resisting. I've said this before on this platform. It's called a slave rebellion. Whether it's Moses and the Pharaohs, or Jews in Warsaw Ghetto, or the Algerians in the French occupation, or even the Viet Cong. All these people are people that resisted against occupation at the end of the day. It's inevitable.
October 7th was resistance to occupation and genocide.
And entitlement to think that you're going to be the first one that is able to occupy and oppress and not encounter armed resistance, then you're an idiot. Which means you are an idiot. That if you don't want any more bloodshed, you end the occupation. It's very simple. Very, very simple.
Very, very simple.
The conclusion that is inevitably deducted from this.
Got to start at the beginning.
Somebody doesn't want a solution. Somebody wants the whole thing. And if you look at the history and you look between like the big points that everybody likes to reference, you will see the very slow, clear policy of an advanced ethnical cleanse especially throughout the last 3 decades. And I can give you examples, because the difference is that early Zionists were very honest about what they're doing.
Very honest.
Zelensky that said we will harass them until they leave, or Moshe Dayan in 64 saying, of course they're going to try to kill us, we're stealing their land. It's just a fact, but we just have to kill them faster. But there was no hiding behind the truth. The last 4 decades have gotten to a place that is so insane that they don't even acknowledge the fact that what they're doing is wrong, or even that they're doing it. So no, Palestinians have their own self-accountability to do, and nobody's perfect. But at the end of the day, there's an occupier and an occupiee. And the person responsible of taking the first 100 steps towards a solution for the Palestinian to take 10 is Israel. And Israel not only is not willing to take those steps, it is actively running away from it and preventing it from ever happening.
So thank you, Amber, for that.
No, Ali, don't do it. Don't fall for. No, she's so retarded. You can't even. Don't fall for her. She's so retarded. Let the other Palestinian ever speak, please. Don't fall for her bitch. She's so retarded and so slow and so stupid. Don't do it. Ali, don't do it. Don't try to educate her in the way. Let Edward speak about it.
I defer to Emerald, and she's more intelligent than me.
She's so retarded and she's so slow. Please let Edward deal with it. Ali, don't waste your brain cells, you know? You know, Ambrose, go ahead for another 10 minutes. Ali, don't waste your time. This bitch is so retarded, and she's so slow, and she's so stupid. It's a waste of your time, Ali.
Do you realize how preposterous you look
It's
right
so,
now?
it's so stupid. Don't waste your time, Ali, bro.
Wait, Paycheck, are you saying she's an anti-Semite?
She's a disgusting reprobate. She's the worst of the worst. She's worse than an anti-Semite. This bitch was
Do you understand
shot
what
on like
do you know,
October 7th.
do you know what the funny thing is?
Ambrose, you're the worst of the worst. I think
Do you know what the funny thing is?
Yo, what up, you misogynist?
Do you know what the funny thing
nothing.
is?
You're just like, oh well, you know, as long as she's speaking,
Achik,
you're not gonna
do
do
you know?
anything.
Achik, do you
You're
know
a
what the funny?
terrible. Ambrose,
Okay,
you're
I
a
get
terrible,
it.
terrible person.
I'm a terrible person.
I don't care. I don't
Achik,
care.
that's fine.
I don't
That's
care,
fine.
Ambrose.
Just to be
You're
clear.
a terrible, terrible person.
Just to
Go
be clear.
fuck with the Palestinians all you want, but I don't care.
Okay, thank you. Can you be
People
quiet
like
now?
you are the worst
Can
of the
you
worst.
be quiet now?
Terrible. I don't care,
Are you
Ambrose.
done
You're a
insulting me?
disgusting Sharmuta Kusum.
I get
Fuck
it.
you.
I
You're
get
the
it.
worst of the
I
worst.
get
I
it.
don't care what you are.
I get it. Can
Like,
you shut up
honestly,
now?
you're such a terrible person. Ali, don't waste your time with Sharmuta Kusum like this.
Oh, my
It's
God.
a waste of
Do
time.
you really want me to
Let
start?
her go
I'll
run
give the girl
along
next-
and everything.
All right, so who would like to speak?
I would like to go if you don't mind. I would like to respond directly to
Yeah.
Amrose's comments, two comments. Number one, I appeal to the audience here. She did exactly what Edward did. For example, she said that Israel and other powers have used the strategy of divide and conquer. Then he told us that if we don't read the history, you're stupid.
I didn't use that. I didn't say that.
Edward, please.
I didn't say that.
I'm talking to Edward. So here's another. Now, if any country, any group of people that they are going to be manipulated by another group to be divided and be conquered, wouldn't you say there's some stupidity on their shoulders as well too? So there we go. That's the first comment. You did exactly what they did. Now you're blaming the plight of Palestinians on the divide and conquer, which I agree with you. The strategy, it works. But if a group of people are going to be a victim of that strategy, I would say shame on them. I would say they are the stupid people.
You know, there's an argument. No, hold on. This is important. This is important.
No, it's not.
Please land your.
I'm trying to.
Don't interrupt.
Please land your side.
I'm trying to unpack what you. So your first comment is exactly along the lines of what Edward is talking about. You did not take any responsibility for Palestinians that they fell for this. So don't call us stupid because we have not read the history. I can tell you what I've read. Share that with you. So I would say people who fell for this, probably there's some level of ignorance is involved falling for that strategy. So the Palestinians are to be blamed for becoming a victim of this presumed divide and conquer strategy that you're talking about. And I'm not saying partially is not correct, but they fall for that. Don't call us stupid. The people who fell for that probably should be put, the blame should be on them. Go ahead and respond.
I find it remarkable that an Iranian dares to criticize another occupied and oppressed people and not understand how difficult it is to create a successful resistance movement that does lead to liberation, especially under very, very nefarious circumstances, right? Because the type of oppression and occupation that we see in modern times is not what we saw before, right? It's not blunt, concentration camp Nazi shit, right? They keep it very nefarious. They walk this very blurry line in legitimate and blurring and whitewashing, pinkwashing, greenwashing their own crimes, and the world eats it up, right? And even when that doesn't happen, look at Iran. You keep saying that the entire country is against the regime, yet somehow it manages to stay in power, and now you're blaming the Palestinians who don't actually have to deal with in-home oppression. They have been dealing with an outside occupier that is very different than any other form of occupation that we know in modern history, because this is a different type of occupation, and the Palestinians are the first ones to admit it, especially one of the most prominent Palestinian intellectual, Rashid Khalidi, that speaks about the fact that this is a different type of occupation and needs to be dealt with in a different mindset. That's far more
behold the universe in the glory of God, and all that lives and moves on earth. Leaving the transient, find joy in the eternal. Set not your heart on another's possession. Working thus, a man may wish for a life of 100 years. Only actions done in God bind not the soul of man. There are demon-haunted worlds, regions of utter darkness. Whoever in life denies the spirit falls into that darkness of death. The spirit without moving is swifter than the mind. The senses cannot reach him. He is ever beyond them. Standing still, he overtakes those who run. To the ocean of his being, the spirit of life leads the streams of action. He moves and he moves not. He is far and he is near. He is within all and he is outside all. Who sees all beings in his own self, and his own self in all beings, loses all fear. When a sage sees this great unity, and his self has become all beings, what delusion and what sorrow can ever be near him? The Spirit filled all with his radiance. He is incorporeal and invulnerable, pure and untouched by evil. He is the supreme seer and thinker, immanent and transcendent. He placed all things in the path of eternity. Into deep darkness fall those who follow action. Into deeper darkness fall those who follow knowledge. One is the outcome of knowledge, and another is the outcome of action. Thus we have heard from the ancient sages who explained this truth to us. He who knows both knowledge and action, with action overcomes death, and with knowledge reaches immortality. Into deep darkness fall those who follow the immanent. Into deeper darkness fall those who follow the transcendent. One is the outcome of the transcendent, and another is the outcome of the immanent. Thus have we heard from the ancient sages who explained this truth to us. He who knows both the transcendent and the immanent, with the immanent overcomes death, and with the transcendent reaches immortality. The face of truth remains hidden behind a circle of gold. Unveil it, O God of light, that I who love the true may see. O life-giving Sun, offspring of the Lord of creation, solitary seer of heaven, spread thy light and withdraw thy blinding splendor, that I may behold thy radiant form. That spirit far away within thee is my inmost spirit. May life go to immortal life, and the body go to ashes. Om. O my soul, remember past strivings. Remember. O my soul, remember past strivings. Remember. By the path of good, lead us to final bliss. O fire divine, thou God who knowest all ways, deliver us from wandering evil. Prayers and adoration we offer unto thee. Kena Upanishad, Part 1. Who sends the mind to wander afar? Who first drives life to start on its journey? Who impels us to utter these words? Who is the spirit behind the eye and the ear? It is the ear of the ear, the eye of the eye, and the words. The mind of mind and the life of life. Those who follow wisdom pass beyond, and, on leaving this world, become immortal. There the eye goes not, nor words, nor mind. We know not, we cannot understand. How he can be explained? He is above the known, and he is above the unknown. Thus have we heard from the ancient sages who explained this truth to us. What cannot be spoken with words, but that whereby words are spoken. Know that alone to be Brahman, the spirit, and not what people here adore. What cannot be thought with the mind, but that whereby the mind can think. Know that alone to be Brahman, the spirit, and not what people here adore. What cannot be seen with the eye, but that whereby the eye can see. Know that alone to be Brahman, the spirit, and not what people here adore. What cannot be heard with the ear, but that whereby the ear can hear. Know that alone to be Brahman, the spirit, and not what people here adore. What cannot be indrawn with breath, but that whereby breath is indrawn. Know that alone to be Brahman, the spirit, and not what people here adore. Part 2. Master, if you think I know well, little truth you know. You only perceive that appearance of Brahman that lies in the senses and is in you. Pursue your meditation. Disciple, I mean to know. I do not imagine I know him well, and yet I cannot say I know him not. Who of us knows this, knows him, and not who says, I know him not? He comes to the thought of those who know him beyond thought, not to those who imagine he can be attained by thought. He is unknown to the learned and known to the simple. He is known in the ecstasy of an awakening which opens the door of life eternal. By the self we obtain power, and by vision we obtain eternity. For a man who has known him, the light of truth shines. For one who has not known, there is darkness. The wise who have seen him in every being, on leaving this life, attain life immortal. Part 3. Once upon a time, Brahman, the spirit supreme, won a victory for the gods. And the gods thought in their pride, we alone attained this victory. Ours alone is the glory. Brahman saw it and appeared to them, but they knew him not. Who is that being that fills us with wonder? They cried. And they spoke to Agni, the god of fire. O God, all-knowing, go and see who is that being that fills us with wonder. Agni ran towards him, and Brahman asked, who are you? I am the god of fire, he said, the god who knows all things. What power is in you? Asked Brahman. I can burn all things on earth. And Brahman placed a straw before him, saying, burn this. The god of fire strove with all his power, but was unable to burn it. He then returned to the other gods and said, I could not find out who was that being that fills us with wonder. Then they spoke to Vayu, the god of the air. O Vayu, go and see who is that being that fills us with wonder. Vayu ran towards him, and Brahman asked, who are you? I am Vayu, the god of the air, he said. Matarisvan, the air that moves in space. What power is in you? Asked Brahman. In a whirlwind I can carry away all there is on earth. And placed a straw before him, saying, blow this away. The god of the air strove with all his power, but was unable to move it. He returned to the other gods and said, I could not find out who was that being that fills us with wonder. Then the gods spoke to Indra, the god of thunder. O giver of earthly goods, go and see who is that being that fills us with wonder. And Indra ran toward Brahman, the spirit supreme. but he disappeared. Then, in the same region of the sky, the god saw a lady of radiant beauty. She was Uma, divine wisdom, the daughter of the mountains of snow. Who is that being that fills us with wonder? He asked. Part 4. He is Brahman, the spirit supreme, she answered. Rejoice in him, since through him you attained the glory of victory. And the gods, Agni, Vayu, and Indra, excelled the other gods, for they were the first that came near Brahman, and they first knew he was the spirit supreme. And thus Indra, the god of thunder, excelled all other gods, for he came nearest to Brahman, and he first knew that he was the spirit supreme. Concerning whom it is said, he is seen in nature in the wonder of a flash of lightning. He comes to the soul in the wonder of a flash of vision. His name is Tadvanam, which translated means the end of love longing. As Tadvanam, he should have adoration.
This is
All beings
how you
will
become
love
French
such a lover of the Lord.
instantaneously.
Master, you asked me to explain the Upanishad, the sacred wisdom. The Upanishad has been explained to you. In truth, I have been telling you the sacred teaching concerning Brahman. Katha Upanishad, Part 1. Vajrasava gave away all his possessions at a sacrifice, but it was out of a desire for heaven.
I'm a leprechaun. There's a leprechaun in that tree!
Nachiketas, who, although he was only a boy, had a vision of faith when the offerings were given, and thus he thought, this poor offering of cows that are too old to give milk and too weak to eat grass or drink water must lead to a world of sorrow. And he thought of offering himself and said to his father, Father, to whom will you give me? He asked once, and twice, and 3 times. And then his father answered in anger, I will give you to death. Nachiketas, at the head of many I go, and I go in the midst of many. What may be the work of death that today must be done through me? Remember how the men of old passed away, and how those of days to come will also pass away. A mortal ripens like corn, and like corn he is born again. Nachiketas had to wait 3 nights without food in the abode of Yama, the god of death. A voice. As the spirit of fire, a Brahmin comes to a house. Bring the offering of water, O god of death. How unwise is the man who does not give hospitality to a Brahmin. He loses his future hopes, his past merits, his present possessions, his sons, and his all. Death. Since you have come as a sacred guest to my abode, and you have had no hospitality for 3 nights, choose then 3 boons. Nachiketas. May my father's anger be appeased, and may he remember me and welcome me when I return to him. Let this be my first boon. Death. By my power your father will remember you and love you as before, and when he sees you free from the jaws of death, sweet will be his sleep at night. Nachiketas. There is no fear in heaven, old age and death are not there. The good, beyond both, rejoice in heaven, beyond hunger and thirst and sorrow.
It's not
Those
a
in
medal.
heaven attain immortality. You know, O death, that
It's the
sacred
Republican
fire which leads to
Convention.
heaven.
I'm part of the
Explain it
entertainment.
to me, since I have faith.
Part of the
It is my
entertainment
second
division of the
boon.
GOP.
Death. I know, Nachiketas, that sacred fire which leads to heaven. Listen. That fire which is the means of attaining the infinite worlds, and is also their foundation, is hidden in the sacred place of the heart. And Death told him of the fire of creation, the beginning of the worlds, and of the altar of the fire sacrifice, of how many bricks it should be built, and how they should be placed. Nachiketas repeated the teaching. Death was pleased, and went on. A further boon I give you today. This fire of sacrifice shall be known by your name. Take also from me this chain of many forms. One who lights 3 times this sacred fire and attains union of fire, the God who knows all things, and through knowledge and adoration he attains the peace supreme. He who, knowing the 3, builds up the altar of fire sacrifice, and performs 3 times the sacrifice of Nachiketas, casts off the bonds of death, and passing beyond sorrow, finds joy in the regions of heaven. This is the fire that leads to heaven, which you chose as the second gift. Men will call it the fire sacrifice of Nachiketas. Choose now the 3rd boon. Nachiketas. When a man dies, this doubt arises. Some say he is, and some say he is not. Teach me the truth. Death. Even the gods had this doubt in times of old, for mysterious is the law of life and death. Ask for another boon. Release me from this. Nachiketas. This doubt indeed arose even to the gods, and you say, O Death, that it is difficult to understand. But no greater teacher than you can explain it, and there is no other boon so great as this. Death. Take horses and gold and cattle and elephants. Choose sons and grandsons that shall live 100 years. Have vast expanses of land, and live as many years as you desire. Or choose another gift that you think equal to this, and enjoy it with wealth and long life. Be a ruler of this vast earth. I will grant you all your desires. Ask for any wishes in the world of mortals, however hard to obtain. To attend on you, I will give you fair maidens with chariots and musical instruments. But ask me not, Nachiketas, the secrets of death. Nachiketas. All these play away, O end of all. They weaken the power of life. And indeed, how short is all life? Keep thy horses and dancing and singing. Man cannot be satisfied with wealth. Shall we enjoy wealth with you in sight? Shall we live whilst you are in power? I can only ask for the boon I have asked. When a mortal here on earth has felt his own immortality, how could he wish for a long life of pleasures, for the lust of deceitful beauty? Solve then the doubt as to the great beyond. Grant me the gift that unveils the mystery. This is the only gift Nachiketas can ask. Part 2. Death. There is the path of joy, and there is the path of pleasure. Both attract the soul. Who follows the first comes to good. Who follows pleasure reaches not the end. The 2 paths lie in front of man. Pondering on them, the wise man chooses the path of joy. The fool takes the path of pleasure. You have pondered, Nachiketas, on pleasures, and you have rejected them. You have not accepted that chain of possessions wherewith men bind themselves, and beneath which they sink. There is the path of wisdom and the path of ignorance. They are far apart and lead to different ends. You, uneducatus, are follower of the path of wisdom. Many pleasures tempt you not. Abiding in the midst of ignorance, thinking themselves wise and learned. Fools go aimlessly hither and thither, like blind and led by the hand. What light beyond life shines not to those who are childish, or careless, or deluded by wealth. This is the only world. There is no other, they say. And thus they go from death to death. Not many hear of him. And of those, not many reach him. Wonderful is he who can teach about him, and wise is he who can be taught. Wonderful is he who knows him when taught. He cannot be taught by one who has not reached him, and he cannot be reached by much thinking. The way to him is through a teacher who has seen him. He is higher than the highest thoughts, in truth above all thought. This sacred knowledge is not attained by reasoning, but it can be given by a true teacher. As your purpose is steady, you have found him.
If you're trying to coordinate a financial
another pupil like you. I know that treasures pass away and that the eternal is not reached by the transcendent. I have thus laid the fire of sacrifice in educators, and by burning into the transcendent, I have reached the eternal. Before your eyes have been spread in educators, the fulfillment of all desires, to many purposes, the eternal form of ritual, the shore where there is no sea, the greatness of fame and boundless space.
Every Monday night, I personally take all the patients out. It really becomes the family vibe that we're looking for here at CPI.
Contemplation on our God as time.
It looks like LA. There's a Marriott there. It looks like it could be anywhere in the United States.
So what you get with stem cell treatment at CPI is 5 days. We're going to have a number of auxiliary treatments that we do here in addition to stem cells, hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy, NAD therapy, IV ozone, Myers.
Nachiketas is a house open for thy Atman, thy God. Nachiketas, tell me what you see beyond right and wrong, beyond what is done or not done, beyond past and future. Death. I will tell you the word that all the Vedas glorify, all self-sacrifice expresses, all sacred studies and holy life seek. That word is home. That word is the everlasting Brahman. That word is the highest end.
Hi, I'm Brandon.
And that sacred word is known, all longings are fulfilled.
My name is Nida. See you at
It is the supreme means of salvation. It is the help supreme. When that great word is known, one is great in the heaven of Brahman.
If you have an idea for us,
Atman, the spirit of vision, is never born and never dies. Before him there was nothing, and he is one forevermore. Never born and eternal. Beyond time gone or to come, he does not die when one dies. If the slayer thinks that he kills, and if the slain thinks that he dies, neither knows the ways of truth. The eternal in man cannot kill. The eternal in man cannot die. Concealed in the heart of all beings is the Atman, the spirit, the soul, smaller than the smallest atom, greater than the vast spaces. The man who surrenders his human will leaves sorrows behind and beholds the glory of the Atman by the grace of the Creator.
my families know that debt is out of
Resting,
control.
he wanders afar.
Washington keeps spending and passing
He goes
bills to our
everywhere.
kids. Our national
Who else
debt
but
just
myself
passed
can know
$34
that
trillion.
God of joy and of sorrows?
My families know that debt.
When the wise realize the omnipresent spirit who rests invisibly in the visible and present in the infinite, then they go beyond sorrow. Not through much learning is the Atman reached, not through the intellect and sacred teaching. It is reached by the chosen of him because they choose him.
Located here in Texas.
To his chosen, the Atman reveals his glory. Not even through deep knowledge can the Atman be reached unless evil ways are abandoned. And there is rest in the senses, concentration in the mind, and peace in one's heart.
I'd find myself in
Who
captivity
knows in truth
for
where he
politics,
is?
not for crimes.
The majesty of his power carries away priests and warriors,
President
and
Trump
death
ultimately
itself is
sent me
carried
home,
away.
but that wouldn't have happened had it not been for the help of the Reverend
Part two.
Jesse Jackson.
In the secret high place of the heart, there are two beings who drink the wine of life in the world of truth. Those who know Brahman, those who keep the 5 sacred fires, and those who light the threefold fire of Nachiketas, call them light and
I
shade.
find myself in captivity.
Newly light the sacred
Politics
fire of
not for
Nachiketas,
crimes.
the bridge to cross to
I've
the other
sat
shore
there
where there
for
is no
8
fear,
years, and
the supreme
President Trump wants
everlasting
me to send me
spirit.
home, but that
Looking for immediate
Know
delivery
the
in the
Atman
Villa
as Lord
Maya?
of the
The
chariot,
village is your
and the body
choice.
as the chariot itself. Know
Two
that
bedroom
reason is the
residences in
charioteer,
a multi-award
and the mind
winning
indeed is
project
the
by
reins.
Solo Madaleno.
The horses, they say, are
You can't
senses,
offshore
and their
a
paths are
duplex, but you
objects of
can
sense.
make the equity hard to
When the
grasp.
soul
And here's
becomes
how we
one
do
with
it.
the mind and the senses, he is called one who has joys
Today we're
and
checking out the
sorrows.
Pool Star 4. Let's show you inside.
He who has
Inside
not
it
right
is so
understanding,
creepy, especially
and
in the
whose
back.
mind is never steady, is not the ruler of his life.
Lecture from the glass
Like a bad
The
driver
seats
with
also
wild
have their
horses.
own display for adjusting temperature
But
settings
he who
and
has right
seats
understanding, and
electronic
whose mind is ever steady, is the ruler
front.
of his
There's a
life.
15-point
Like a good
footage
driver
display
with
that
wild
houses all of
horses.
your settings and entertainment. I
He
love
who
this
has not
weird
right
HD camera.
understanding
This
is careless
looks like a
and never
mirror,
pure,
but it is actually a
which is
display
not
that lets
the
you
end
view
of
the
the
camera
journey,
that's mounted
but
on the
wanders
top
on
back
from
of the
death to
car.
death.
This gives you a super clear
But he
view
who
of
has
whatever is
understanding
behind
is
you at
careful
all
and
times.
ever
All
pure,
of the trimmings
which
and
is the end
interior
of the
felt
journey,
really high
from which
quality,
he never
and this
returns.
interior illumination was next level.
The man whose
It's so
chariot is
exciting
driven
there.
by
Now,
reason,
Pool Star test drives
watches and
available near
pumps
you.
the reins of
Check
his
it out.
mind,
Today we're checking out
which is the end of the journey, the supreme everlasting spirit.
Yes.
Beyond the senses are their objects, and beyond the objects is the
Pool
mind.
Star.
Beyond the mind is pure reason, and beyond reason is the spirit in man. Beyond the spirit in man is the spirit of the earth, and beyond is Purusha, the spirit supreme. Nothing is beyond Purusha. He is the end of the path. The light of the Atman, the spirit, is invisible, concealed in all beings. It is seen by the seers of the subtle when their vision is keen and is clear. The wise should surrender speech in mind in the knowing self, the knowing self in the spirit of the universe, and the spirit of the universe in the spirit of peace. Awake, arise, strive for the heights, and be in the light. Sages say the path is narrow and difficult to tread, narrow as the edge of a razor. The Atman is beyond sound and form, without touch and taste and perfume. It is eternal, unchangeable, and without beginning or end. Indeed, above reasoning. When consciousness of the Atman manifests itself, man becomes free from the jaws of death. The wise who can learn and can teach this ancient story of Nachiketas, taught by Yama, the god of death, finds joy in the world of Brahman. He who, filled with devotion, recites this supreme mystery at the gathering of Brahmins, or at the ceremony of Visraya for the departed, prepares for eternity. He prepares in truth for eternity. Part 4.
Investing.
The Creator made the senses outward going. They go to the world of matter outside, not to the spirit within. But a sage who sought immortality looked within himself and found his own soul. The foolish run after outward pleasures and fall into the snares of fast embracing death. But the wise have found immortality, and do not seek the eternal in things that pass away. This by which we perceive colours and sounds, perfumes and kisses of love, by which alone we attain knowledge, by which verily we can be conscious of anything. This in truth is that.
Here's how to disappear overnight.
Through the great and omnipresent spirit in us that we are conscious in waking or in dreaming. Then he goes beyond sorrow. When he knows the Atman, the self, the inner life, who enjoys like a bee the sweetness of the flowers of the senses, the Lord of what was and of what will be, then he goes beyond fear. This in truth is that. The God of creation, who in the beginning was born from the fire of thought before the waters were, who appeared in the elements and rests, having entered the heart. This in truth is that. The goddess of infinity, who comes as a life power, and nature, who was born from the elements and rests, having entered the heart. This in truth is that. Agni, the all-knowing god of fire, hidden in the two friction fire sticks of the holy sacrifice, as a seed of life in the womb of a mother. who receives the morning adoration of those who follow the path of light or the path of work. This, in truth, is that. Whence the rising sun does come, and into which it sets again, wherein all the gods have their birth, and beyond which no man can go. This, in truth, is that. What is here is also there, and what is there is also here. Who sees the many, and not the one, wanders on from death to death. Even by the mind this truth is to be learned. There are not many, but only one. Who sees variety and not the unity, wanders on from death to death. The soul dwells within us, a flame the size of a thumb. When it is known as the Lord of the future, then ceases all fear. This, in truth, is that. Like a flame without smoke, the size of a thumb, is the soul, the Lord of the past and the future, the same both today and tomorrow. This, in truth, is that. As water raining on a mountain ridge runs down the rocks on all sides, so the man who only sees variety of things runs after them on all sides. But as pure water raining on pure water becomes one and the same, so becomes, O Nachiketas, the soul of the sage who knows. Part 5. The pure eternal spirit dwells in the castle of 11 gates of the body. By ruling this castle, man is free from sorrows and, free from all bondage, attains liberation. In space he is the sun, and he is the wind and the sky. At the altar he is the priest, and the soma wine in the jar. He dwells in men and in gods, in righteousness and in the vast heavens. He is in the earth and the waters and in the rocks of the mountains. He is truth and power. The powers of life adore that God who is in the heart, and he rules the breath of life, breathing in and breathing out.
And do you ever think about the Germans that you shot
the body are unloosed, and the spirit is set free? What remains then? This, in truth, is that. A mortal lives not through the breath that flows in and that flows out. The source of his life is another, and this causes the breath to flow. I will now speak to you of the mystery of the eternal Brahman, and of what happens to the soul after death. The soul may go to the womb of a mother, and thus obtain a new body.
Nothing personal.
It even may go into trees or plants, according to its previous wisdom and work. There is a spirit who is awake in our sleep and creates the wonder of dreams. He is Brahman, the spirit of light, who in truth is called the immortal. All the worlds rest on that spirit, and beyond him no one can go. This, in truth, is that. As fire, though one, takes new forms in all things that burn. The spirit, though one, takes new forms in all things that live. He is within one, and is also outside. As the wind, though one, takes new forms in whatever it enters. The spirit, though one, takes new forms in all things that live. He is within one, and is also outside. As the sun that beholds the world is untouched by earthly impurities, so the spirit that is in all things is untouched by external sufferings. There is one ruler, the spirit that is in all things, who transforms his own form into many. Only the wise who see him in their souls attain the joy eternal. He is the eternal among things that pass away, pure consciousness of conscious beings, the one who fulfills the prayers of many. Only the wise who see him in their souls attain the peace eternal. This is that. Thus they realize the ineffable joy supreme. How can this be known? Does he give light, or does he reflect light? There the sun shines not, nor the moon, nor the stars. Lightnings shine not there, and much less earthly fire. From his light, all these give light, and his radiance illumines all creation. Part 6. The tree of eternity has its roots and heaven above, and its branches reach down to earth. It is Brahman, pure spirit, who in truth is called the immortal. All the worlds rest on that spirit, and beyond him no one can go. This in truth is that. The The whole universe comes from him, and his life burns through the whole universe. In his power is the majesty of thunder. Those who know him will have found immortality. From fear of him, fire burns, and from fear of him, the sun shines. From fear of him, the clouds and the winds and death itself moves their way. If one sees him in this life before the body passes away, one is free from bondage. But if not, one is born and dies again in new worlds and new creations. Brahman is seen in a pure soul as in a mirror clear, and also in the Creator's heaven as clear as light, but in the land of shades as remembrance of dreams, and in the world of spirits as reflections in trembling waters. When the wise man knows that the material senses come not from the spirit, and that their waking and sleeping belong to their own nature, then he grieves no more. Beyond the senses is the mind, and beyond mind is reason, its essence. Beyond reason is the spirit in man, and beyond this is the spirit of the universe, the evolver of all. And beyond is Purusha, all-pervading, beyond definitions. When a mortal knows him, he attains liberation and reaches immortality. His form is not in the field of vision. No one sees him with mortal eyes. He is seen by a pure heart and by a mind and thoughts that are pure. Those who know him attain life immortal. When the five senses and the mind are still, and reason itself rests in silence, then begins the path supreme. This calm steadiness of the senses is called yoga. Then one should become watchful, because yoga comes and goes. Words and thoughts cannot reach him, and he cannot be seen by the eye. How can he then be perceived except by him who says, he is? In the faith of he is, his existence must be perceived, and he must be perceived in his essence. When he is perceived as he is, then shines forth the revelation of his essence. When all desires that cling to the heart are surrendered, then a mortal becomes immortal, and even in this world he is one with Brahman. When all ties that bind the heart are unloosened, then a mortal becomes immortal. This is the sacred teaching. 101 subtle ways come from the heart. One of them rises to the crown of the head. This is the way that leads to immortality. The others lead to different ends. Always dwelling within all beings is the Atman, the Purusha, the Self, a little flame in the heart. Let one with steadiness withdraw him from the body, even as an inner stem is withdrawn from its sheath. Know this pure immortal light. Know in truth this pure immortal light. And Nachiketas learnt the supreme wisdom taught by the god of afterlife, and he learnt the whole teaching of inner union, of yoga. Then he reached Brahman, the spirit supreme, and became immortal and pure. So in truth will anyone who knows his Atman, his higher self. Prasna Upanishad. First question. Sukesa Bharadvaja, Savya Satyakama, Savyayani Gagya, Kasalya Asbalayana, Bhagava Vaidavi, and Kabandi Katyayana were students filled with devotion for Brahman, the Supreme Spirit. Their minds rested on Brahman, and they were in search of the highest Brahman. Once they said, the holy Pipalada can explain all the sacred teaching. And thus thinking, they approached him, bringing as a sign of reverence fuel for the sacred fire. The sage said to them, remain another year in steadiness, purity and faith. Ask then anything you desire, and if I know, I will tell you all. When the time came, Kabandi Katyayana approached the sage and said, Master, whence came all created beings? The sage replied, in the beginning, the Creator longed for the joy of creation. He remained in meditation, and then came Rayi, matter, and Prana, life. These two, thought he, will produce beings for me. The sun is life, and the moon is matter. All that has form, solid or subtle, is matter. Therefore, form is matter. When the rising morning sun enters the eastern skies, then he bathes in his light all life that is in the east. And then the south and the west and the north and all the sky are illumined by that light that gives life to all that lives. Thus rises the sun as fire, as life in its infinite variety. It was said in a verse of the Rig Veda, the sun is rising in golden radiance, the sun of 1,000 rays, in 100 regions abiding. The God omniscient, the aim of all prayers, the light and fire supreme, the infinite life of all beings. The Lord of creation is in truth the time of the year. This has two paths, the way of the south and the way of the north. Those who worship thinking, we have done sacrifices and pious works, attain only the regions of the moon and return to life and death. That is why those sages who desire children and the life of the family follow the path of the south. This is the path that leads to the ancestors. But those who in search of the inner spirit follow the spiritual path of the north with steadiness, purity, faith, and wisdom, attain the regions of the sun. And there is the ocean of life, the refuge supreme, the land of immortality where there is no fear. From there they do not return again. It is the end of the journey. There is a verse of the Rig Veda that says, some speak of a father who sends rain from the heaven of the north, resting on the seasons and showing himself in 12 ways. Others speak of a sage in the heaven of the south, with a chariot of 7 wheels and 6 spokes. The day and night are the Lord of creation. Day is life and night is matter. Those who join in love by day waste life, but they follow the good path, those who join in love by night. The dark fortnight is indeed matter, and the bright fortnight is life. Some sages perform their rituals in the bright fortnight, but some in the time of darkness. Food is in truth the Lord of creation. From food, seed is produced, and from this, beings are born. Those who obey the law of the Lord of creation, they in turn become creators, and like him produce a pair. They attain the pale regions of the moon. But those in whom there is no deceit, untruth, or bad faith, who live in steadiness, purity, and truth, theirs are the radiant regions of the sun. Then Bhargava Vaidavi asked, Master, what are the powers that keep the union of a being? How many keep burning the lamps of life? And which amongst them is supreme? The sage replied, the powers are space, air, fire, water, and earth, and voice, mind, the eye, and the ear. These powers light the lamps of life and say, we keep the union of this being, and we are its foundation. But life, the power supreme, said to them, do not fall into delusion. It is I, in my fivefold division, keep the union of this being, and I am its foundation. But they believed him not. Life was offended and rose aloft to leave the body, and all the powers of life had to rise, and, life coming again to rest, all the powers had to rest. As when a queen bee arises, all the bees with her arise, and when she comes to rest again, then all again come to rest. Even so it happened to the powers of the voice, the mind, the eye, and the ear. The powers then understood and sang in joy this song of life. Life is the fire that burns and is the sun that gives light. Life is the wind and the rain and the thunder in the sky. Life is matter and is earth, what is and what is not, and what beyond is in eternity. On life all things are resting as spokes in the center of a wheel. On life are resting the Vedas and prayers and warriors and priests. To thee, resting with thy powers, O life, all beings offer adoration. As Lord of creation, thou movest in the womb of the mother, thence to be reborn. Thou art the chief bearer of gifts to the gods, the first offering made to the departed. Thou art the poetry of the seers, the truth of ancient sages. Thou art Rudra, the god of protection. Thou art Indra in thy radiance, O life. As the sun that wanders in heaven, thou art Lord of all heavenly lights. When the rain pours down from heaven, O life, all thy creatures rejoice, and they say, food for us shall be in abundance. Thou art pure, O life, supreme seer, Lord and consumer of all. We, the givers of what thou enjoyest, thou, our Father, the breath of all life. Be favourable unto us, O life, with that invisible form of thine, which is in the voice, the eye, and the ear, and which lives in the mind. Go not from us. In thy power is all this world, and even the third most sacred heaven. As a mother her child, protect us, O life. Give us glory, and give us wisdom. Third question. Then Kausalya Asvalayana asked, Master, this life, whence does it arise? How does it come to this body? How, after diffusing itself, does it abide here? How does it leave the body? How does it sustain the universe without and the universe within? The sage replied, Great are the questions you ask from me, but you are a great lover of Brahman. I will answer. Life comes from the spirit. Even as a man casts a shadow, so the spirit casts the shadow of life. And as a shadow of former lives, a new life comes to this body. As when a ruler commands his officials and appoints them cities to be ruled in his name, even so prana, the power of life, rules the other living powers of the body. Apana rules its lower regions. Prana itself lives in the eye and the ear, and moves through the nose and the mouth. Samana rules the middle regions, and distributes the life-giving offering of food. From Samana come the 7 flames. In the heart dwells the Atman, the self. It is the center of 101 little channels. From each one of them come 100 channels more. 72,000 smaller channels branch from each one of these. In all these millions of little channels moves the power of Vayana. Rising by one of them, the living power of Udana leads to the heaven of purity by good actions, to the hell of evil by evil actions, and if by both again, to this land of man. The sun is prana, the life of this universe, and he rises giving joy to the life in human eyes. The divinity of the earth rules the lower regions of Apana. Between the sun and the earth, there is space or samana. Air is Vayana. Fire is Udana. When that fire of life is gone, senses are absorbed in mind, and man comes to life again. His last thoughts lead him to prana, and accompanied by the living fire of Udana, and led by Atman, the spirit himself, he goes to the regions deserved and desired in imagination. He who thus knows the meaning of life, his offspring never dies and attains life everlasting. There is a verse that says, He who knows the rising of life and how it comes to the body, how it abides there in its 5-fold division, and knows its relation to the inner spirit, enjoys eternal life, in truth, enjoys eternal life. Fourth question. Then Sauyayani Gagya asked, Master, how many powers sleep in man and how many remain awake? Who is that spirit that beholds the wonder of dreams? Who enjoys the mystery of sleep with no dreams? Who is that spirit on whom all the others find rest? The sage replied, As when before darkness falls, the rays of the setting sun seem all to become one in its circle of light, though at the hour of sunrise they spread out again, even so all the powers of the senses become one in the higher power of the mind. Then a person does not see, hear, smell, taste, or touch, does not speak, receive or give, move, or enjoy joys of love. Then people say he sleeps. But in the city of the body the fires of life are burning, they sleep not. Apana is like the sacred home fire forever kept burning from father to son. Vayana is like the fire of the south for offerings to the ancestors. Prana is like the fire of the east, lit up by the home fire. Samana is the Hotri priest, evenly distributing the 2 offerings of expiration and inspiration. The mind is the performer of the sacrifice, and Udana is its fruit, since every day it takes the mind in sleep to Brahman, the Almighty. And in dreams the mind beholds its own immensity. What has been seen is seen again, and what has been heard is heard again. What has been felt in different places of faraway regions returns to the mind again. Seen and unseen, heard and unheard, felt and not felt, the mind sees all, since the mind is all. But when the mind is overcome by its own radiance, then dreams are no longer seen. Joy and peace come to the body. Even as birds, O beloved, return to their tree for rest, Thus all things find their rest in Atman, the Supreme Spirit. All things find their final peace in their inmost self, the Spirit. Earth, water, fire, air, space, and their invisible elements, sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, and their various fields of sense, voice, hands, and all powers of action, mind, reason, the sense of eye, thought, inner light, and their objects, and even life and all that life sustains. It is the spirit of man who sees, hears, feels perfumes, touches and tastes, thinks and acts, and has all consciousness. And the spirit of man finds peace in the Spirit supreme and eternal. He who knows, O my son, that eternal spirit, incorporeal and shadowless, luminous and everlasting, attains that eternal spirit. He knows the all and becomes the all. A verse there is that says, "He who knows, O my beloved, that eternal spirit wherein consciousness and the senses, the powers of life and the elements find final peace, knows the all and has gone into the all." Fifth question. Then Saibya Satyakama asked, "Master, that man who until the end of his life rests on Om, his meditation, where does he go after life?" The sage replied, "The word Om of Satyakama is the transcendent and the immanent Brahman, the Spirit Supreme. With the help of this sacred word, the wise attains the one or the other." Om, or Aum, has three sounds. He who rests on the first, his meditation, is illumined thereby, and after death returns speedily to this world of men, led by the harmonies of the Rig Veda. Remaining here, in steadiness, purity and truth, he attains greatness. And if he rests his mind in meditation on the first two sounds, he is led by the harmonies of the Yajur Veda to the regions of the moon. After enjoying their heavenly joys, he returns to earth again. But if, with the three sounds of the eternal Om, he places his mind in meditation upon the Supreme Spirit, he comes to the regions of light of the sun. There he becomes free from all evil, even as a snake sheds its old skin. And with the harmonies of the Sama Veda, he goes to the heaven of Brahma, wherefrom he can behold the spirit that dwells in the city of the human body, and which is above the highest life. There are two verses that say, "The three sounds not in union lead again to life that dies, but the wise who merge them into a harmony of union in outer, inner, and middle actions become steady, he trembles no more." With the harmonies of the Rig Veda unto this world of man, and with those of the Yajur Veda to the middle heavenly regions, but with the help of Om, the sage goes to those regions that the seers know in the harmonies of the Sama Veda. There he finds the peace of the Supreme Spirit, where there is no dissolution or death, and where there is no fear. Sixth question. Then Sukesa Bharadvaja said, "Master, Prince Hiranyanaba Kasalya came once to me and asked this question, 'Do you know the spirit of 16 forms?' 'I know him not,' I answered the young prince. 'If I knew him, how could I say that I knew him not? For he who speaks untruth withers like a tree to the roots. I will not speak untruth.' The prince became silent, and, mounting his chariot, departed. And now I ask you, where is that spirit?" The sage replied, "O my son, the spirit in whom 16 forms arise is here within this body." The spirit thought, "In whose going out shall I go out? And in whose staying shall I stay?" And he created life, and from life faith and space and air, light, water and earth, the senses and the mind. He created food, and from food austerity, sacred poems, holy actions, and even the worlds. And in the worlds, name was created. As when rivers flowing towards the ocean find their final peace, their name and form disappear, and people speak only of the ocean. Even so, the 16 forms of the seer all flow towards the spirit and find their final peace. Their name and form disappear, and people speak only of spirit. There is a verse that says, "These forms in him find rest like spokes in the center of a wheel. Know ye the spirit that should be known, that death may afflict you not." Then the sage said to the disciples, "Thus far I know the Supreme Spirit. There is nothing beyond." Bowing to him in adoration, the disciples said, "You are in truth our Father, who has saved us from ignorance and has led us to the shore beyond." Adoration to the Supreme Seers. Adoration to the Supreme Seers. Mundaka Upanishad. Part 1, Chapter 1. Brahma was before the gods were, the creator of all, the guardian of the universe. The vision of Brahman, the foundation of all wisdom, he gave in revelation to his firstborn son, Atavan. That vision and wisdom of Brahman given to Atavan, he in olden times revealed to Angira, and Angira gave it to Satyava, who in succession revealed it to Angiras. Now there was a man whose name was Saunaka, owner of a great household, who approaching one day Angiras with reverence, asked him this question: "Master, what is that which, when known, all is known?" The master replied, "Sages say that there are two kinds of wisdom, the higher and the lower. The lower wisdom is in the 4 sacred Vedas, and in the 6 kinds of knowledge that help to know, to sing, and to use the Vedas. Definition and grammar, pronunciation and poetry, ritual and the signs of heaven. But the higher wisdom is that which leads to the eternal. He is beyond thought and invisible, beyond family and colour. He has neither eyes nor ears. He has neither hands nor feet. He is everlasting and omnipresent, infinite in the great and infinite in the small. He is the eternal whom the sages see as the source of all creation. Even as a spider sends forth and draws in its thread, even as plants arise from the earth and hairs from the body of man, even so the whole creation arises from the eternal. By tapas, the power of meditation, Brahman attains expansion, and then comes primeval matter. And from this comes life and mind, the elements and the worlds and the immortality of ritual action. From that spirit who knows all and sees all, whose tapas is pure vision, from him comes Brahma, the creator, name and form and primal matter. Chapter 2. This is the truth. The actions of devotion that sages heard in sacred verses were told in many ways in the 3 Vedas. Perform them always, O lovers of the true. They are your path of holy action in this world. When the flames of the sacred fire are rising, place then in faith the sacred offerings. If at the sacred fire of Agnihotra no heed is new moon, or of the full moon, or of the seasons of the year, or of the first fruits of spring, if no guests are present, if the offering of the sacrifice is left undone or not done according to rule, or the offering to all the gods is forgotten, then the offerer does not attain the reward of the 7 worlds. The dancing flames of the sacred fire are 7. The black, the terrific, that which is swift as the mind, that which is dark with smoke, the deep red, the spark blazing, and the luminous, omniformed flame. If a man begins his sacrifice when the flames are luminous, and considers for the offerings the signs of heaven, then the holy offerings lead him on the rays of the sun, where the Lord of all gods has his high dwelling. And when on the rays of sunlight the radiant offerings raise him, then they glorify him in words of melody. Welcome, they say, welcome here. Enjoy the heaven of Brahma, won by pure, holy actions. But unsafe are the boats of sacrifice to go to the farthest shore. Unsafe are the 18 books where the lower actions are explained. The unwise who praise them as the highest end go to old age and death again. Abiding in the midst of ignorance, but thinking themselves wise and learned, fools aimlessly go hither and thither, like blind led by the blind. Wandering in the paths of unwisdom, we have attained the end of life, think the foolish. Clouds of passion conceal to them the beyond, and sad is their fall when the reward of their pious actions has been enjoyed. Imagining religious ritual and gifts of charity as the final good, the unwise see not the path supreme. Indeed, they have in high heaven the reward of their pious actions. but thence they fall and come to earth or even down to lower regions. For those who in purity and faith live in the solitude of the forest, who have wisdom and peace, and long not for earthly possessions, those in radiant purity pass through the gates of the sun to the dwelling place supreme, where the spirit is in eternity. Beholding the worlds of creation, let the lover of God attain renunciation. What is above creation cannot be attained by action. In his longing for divine wisdom, let him go with reverence to a teacher, in whom live the sacred words, and whose soul has peace in Brahman. To a pupil who comes with mind and senses in peace, the teacher gives the vision of Brahman, of the spirit of truth and eternity. Part 2. Chapter 1. This is the truth. As from a fire of flame thousands of sparks come forth, even so from the Creator an infinity of beings have life, and to him return again. But the spirit of light above form, never born, within all, outside all, is in radiance above life and mind, and beyond this creation's creator. From him comes all life and mind, and the senses of all life. From him comes space and light, air and fire and water, and this earth that holds us all. The head of his body is fire, and his eyes the sun and the moon. His ears the regions of heaven, and the sacred Vedas his word. His breath is the wind that blows, and this whole universe is his heart. This earth is his footstool. He is the spirit that is in all things. From him comes the sun, and the source of all fire is the sun. From him comes the moon, and from this comes the rain, and all herbs that grow upon earth. And man comes from him, and man unto woman gives seed. And thus an infinity of beings come from the Spirit Supreme. The verses of the Rig Veda, and songs of the Sama Veda, prayers of the Yajur Veda, and rites of initiation, sacrifices and offerings and gifts, the offerer of the sacrifice, the year, and the world purified by the light from the sun and the moon, all come from the Spirit. From him the oceans and mountains, and all rivers come from him, and all herbs, and the essence of all whereby the inner spirit dwells with the elements, all come from him. The spirit, in truth, is all. Action, and the power of tapas, and Brahma, the creator, and immortality. He who knows him dwelling in the secret place of the heart cuts asunder the bonds of ignorance, even in this human life. Chapter 2. Radiant in his light, yet invisible in the secret place of the heart, the spirit is the supreme abode wherein dwells all that moves and breathes and sees. Know him as all that is, and all that is not, the end of love-longing, beyond understanding, the highest in all beings. He is self-luminous and more subtle than the smallest, but in him rest all the worlds and their beings. He is the everlasting Brahman, and he is life, and word, and mind. He is truth and life immortal. He is the goal to be aimed at. Attain that goal, O my son. Take the great bow of the Upanishads, and place in it an arrow sharp with devotion. Draw the bow with concentration on him, and hit the center of the mark, the same everlasting spirit. The bow is the sacred Om, and the arrow is our own soul. Brahman is the mark of the arrow, the aim of the soul. Even as an arrow becomes one with its mark, let the watchful soul be one in him. In him are woven the sky and the earth and all the regions of the air, and in him rest the mind and all the powers of life. Know him as the one, and leave aside all other words. He is the bridge of immortality. Where all the subtle channels of the body meet, like spokes in the center of a wheel, there he moves in the heart and transforms his one form unto many. Upon Om, Atman, yourself, place your meditation. Glory unto you in your faraway journey beyond darkness. He who knows all and sees all, and whose glory the universe shows, dwells as the spirit of the divine city of Brahman in the region of the human heart. He becomes mind and drives on the body and life, draws power from food, and finds peace in the heart. There the wise find him as joy and light and life eternal. And when he is seen in his immanence and transcendence, then the ties that have bound the heart are unloosened, the doubts of the mind vanish, and the law of karma works no more.
The wind changes all the
In
time.
the supreme golden chamber is Brahman, indivisible and pure. He is the radiant light of all lights, and this knows he who knows Brahman.
Watch the kites and balloons.
There the sun shines
Flames
not,
on them
nor the moon,
set
nor the
our fields
stars.
on fire. They're terrorists, Bima. They have only
Spraying
one
these
purpose.
sorts of pesticides. Okay, so
Yes, everybody uses pesticides in agriculture, in case you didn't know about agriculture. We have plenty of fields right in the vicinity into which they send flaming kites and balloons because they're psychopaths.
We don't
and
study
they just happen to land on the most arable parts.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the wind shift a lot in this.
The wind goes in both directions. What do you
How many meters do you think the wind would cause?
We cultivate right up to the fence, and they don't, by the way. I was just there.
And so, how many meters over do you think it covers on the side of the
How many meters does what cover? We literally just spray the vegetation so that it doesn't hide what's going on the other side of the fence.
Okay.
They told not to approach the fence because then they come over the fence, invade the kibbutzim, and slit the throats of old people and children. And we want to prevent them from having to be shot when they do that.
Yeah, I think
So you just preemptively shoot them?
What? No, we don't preemptively shoot them.
Well, I mean, like that's what it said.
No,
it said a buffer zone. Yeah, inside the built separating, right? Of course,
a buffer zone.
So the buffer zone, I believe, was created because there were, over the course from the time that GABA was established until that point in time, 2015, there were various operations of infiltration. And if I remember correctly, there were even before 2015 echoes of terror tunnels, right? People were mentioning terror tunnels.
Of course.
And this is the reason why they created this buffer zone, right, Bima? Because of impending terror attacks to prevent larger scale attacks, which would include more deaths.
Yeah, otherwise we'd have to shoot them when they came into Israel.
Oh, I see.
Which they have no right to do because they're not Israeli.
Israelis have allowed. Oh yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense.
And the people that live around Gaza
have allowed, but it's totally
the people who live around Gaza are kibbutzics. They're like peaceful farmers that go into Gaza and bring people out to get cancer treatment and other kinds of hospital treatment. Those are the people that they came and slaughtered. They made diagram.
What happened to Norm? Why did you do that, Bima?
His phone probably died. I didn't move him.
Such a bullshit liar.
A-check, I'm about to fucking move you, you little bitch. If I said I didn't do something, I didn't do it. Maybe you like to lie, A-check.
I don't lie.
Fucking kasumkum piece of shit, bitch, cunt.
You're gonna
be a horrible fucking cunt.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm just giving you what you gave Amrose. I'm just giving you what you gave Amrose, just completely
Amrose is a terrible person. She's the worst person. Amrose is a kasumkum, the worst of us. Why would you call her Bima?
She wasn't here to get the vindication.
Bima, love. I've never called you a kasumkum ever in my entire life. Never. Don't call me a kasumkum. It's a terrible thing to say to somebody. So awful.
You're a horrible person. You're a horrible person.
It makes you a horrible person. It's breaking my heart. Don't call me a kasumkum. That's a terrible word to use. Don't do that. So bad. You know, you're better than that, Bima. Don't do that. It's a horrible thing to say to somebody.
So, the dual use expression, dual use, 2010. Let's go to page, let's see.
So, did you get that figured out, Bima, if they sprayed the pesticides?
Oh, yeah, I don't fucking believe it. They admitted to doing it. Like, I don't know what else to say. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what year did you say they sprayed the pesticides? 2015.
It's all
this is before up to 2015, yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking it up also, and there was a report that was made about these pesticides. If I'm not mistaken, in 2020 or something like this. That's when the report was done, but. Again, like what Norm said, the winds, they change very frequently. I mean, living here on the Mediterranean Peninsula, whatever you want to call it, Mediterranean Basin. You see, like, there's winds everywhere, going from Africa to Europe to the middle Far East. And sometimes you can get a random Hamsin from the south, from like Saudi Arabia.
No, I don't challenge whether that it happened. Well, I think the point though is that it did happen, and it just happened to land on the most arable plots of soil in all of Gaza. If that's a coincidence, then it's a coincidence.
So how were they still able to grow agriculture there? They still had agriculture until like 20 until like
do they have weather reports? I ask a question.
Well, let me just finish what we were saying.
Keep talking. Do they have reports in Israel?
Yes, they have what reports?
So if the military did want to do that, they could just look up the weather report and know that, okay, if we spray on this day, it's going to go here. Now, I'm not saying that happened, but I'm sorry. I think the wind blows both ways. I can
assure you that the weather in Israel is very unpredictable. It's extreme.
Well, Alan, maybe Israel doesn't have the technology to predict wind patterns. Yeah, they must not. I mean, yeah.
We have the ability. We have as much ability as Hamas.
Well, to change the subject a little, I saw a report. It talked about one of the ways that Mossad or whoever it was in Israel targeted one of the Palestinian leaders is that the tailor he went to was either an Israeli spy or he was maybe he was Iranian, whatever it was. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. But I mean, you got to give kudos because they did something to his suit. And this reminds me of like the 6-Day War. They did something to the suit that it marked him as the target, so that they were able to take him out because of that. But I mean, that level of planning. Israel's in it for the long haul. And I don't hear about those kinds of things coming from the Palestinian side. And if they really want to fight a war, they got to get their crap together. Because, I mean, just from a, spy network kind of intelligence thing, they're doing their job. And I'm going to say one more thing about it, but I got to look it up first.
I think you might be right, if it's just the Palestinians against the current Israel, you guys have the upper hand. But what after that, right? You guys have this plan called Greater Israel. And
No, we don't. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
We don't have. Incorrect. You're making up bullshit now. You're ignorant on the topic. You're the expansionist colonial power, paper tiger. You know that. You're the one that wants to move on to free people of Taiwan. You're the one that took Tibet. I know you don't give a fuck because you know I'm right. You're the one who moved on to Tibet. You're the one you're the imperialist imposing your disgusting ideology on people who don't want it. We're special in that we're the West. We're significant to the people that matter. You think anybody wants to live like you?
Norm, 1 second. Even if it is true, right? There are 8 million Jews in Israel itself, right? And these people who believe in Israel trying to expand for like quote unquote greater Israel to take over Jordan, which is like 3 times bigger than Israel itself and has like another extra million people or persons in it than Israel does. It would presume that Israel has some way to convince another like 20 million people to become Israeli. To become Israeli, I mean, what does that sound like? Between Jordan, Iraq, Iraq and Egypt, Syria and Lebanon, and this idea, this imaginary greater Israel, we would have to convince a few 100 million people to become Israeli and to not resist Israel. How does that happen? Literally 8 million Jews. We're going to force convert them to Judaism. Like, what's going to happen here?
It's such a stupid misunderstanding. It's so ill thought out. What you said is so obvious, Shai. It's just such a dumb thing for them to say without thinking about it. You know, the same way taking the side of these genocidal terrorists is dumb. They know what they do. They know that they're suicide bombers. They know that instead of letting their kids go into the tunnels, they leave their kids on the surface so they'll get murdered like shaheeds. They're proud of it. They say it proudly. They make speeches to their people. Yes, the women and children, we need you to be shaheeds. Your blood will redeem us. They're an apocalyptic death cult. They want to die. This is their great symbol of redemption is death.
Gotta take a picture of this one. Gotta take a picture of that one. Oh my God. Belmont. That's just 5'8". No fucking
They
way.
tried to break us and they ended up breaking themselves. Look at what Gaza's like now. It's a mess. They made a mess out of the thing that they could have done anything with it. They turned it into a they were up there.
Oh, Johnny.
They made them into rockets. They don't even have sewage there.
You know, I spoke with an older gentleman from Gaza last night. He speaks only Hebrew and Arabic, and so we spoke in Hebrew. And he said he blames Hamas for Gaza, right? I was asking him about like what he thinks about Israel. He actually wishes he were Israeli because in Israel they actually have rights and we have like normal lives. But then I asked him like about the PLO and
oh, Johnny.
And he was like, they're all pieces of shit, and they're no good Palestinian leaders, and they put them in this position. And that's what the people in Gaza are saying. Like, the people outside of Gaza apparently don't know what's going on in Gaza. You know, they see videos and clips of things, and they don't know what's happening. They can't communicate with them because most of them don't speak Arabic or Hebrew. So,
But the thing is, Sean, they're only saying that because they lost. Every time I get so much compassion. I look at the photos from October 7th and them celebrating. Do you remember the images of Sean and Luke in the back of that truck? It took IDF soldiers to go in and eliminate every single one of those dead terrorists. I don't give a fuck in 2026 if a jihadist from Gaza is saying that he wants a better life and is supposed to spread of Israel. They were not saying that in 2023. I remember the horrific videos. It fucking traumatized me. These jihadist scum actually thought they were winning in 2023. And it was coming back. It took us like 4 weeks to find out our brothers were dead and everything else like that. I don't like this narrative that you're saying, Shai. It's terrible. These people, if the state of Israel had lost this war, if the IDF had lost this war, they wouldn't be speaking like this, Shai. They'd be speaking a different narrative. They'd be saying, Allah Akbar, God is great, Muhammad, Al-Shabaab, Kustumkum, all the fucking bullshit. You know, they'd be telling you a different fucking narrative. The only reason, for an example, that 20% of the Israeli population is Muslim is because 80% is Jewish. If they become the majority in the state of Israel, they won't be a state of Israel, Shai.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that I agree that Israel should absorb them. I'm saying that they wish they had better leaders. That's the point that I'm making. And yes, you're probably right.
Nobody has better leaders. I mean, look at Algeria, look at Saudi Arabia, look at Afghanistan, look at all the Muslim countries. There's a reason that Israel is the only Middle Eastern country that is a democracy, because democracy doesn't work in Arab states. It doesn't work in Arab states. It just doesn't fucking work. It's terrible.
Well, yeah. So people complain about that.
Armenia is a democracy. It's in the Middle
Yeah,
East.
but Armenia is not an Arab state, though.
No thanks to Turkey.
It's a Middle Eastern country.
No thanks to Turkey.
Arab state.
Well, that's true. In any event, yeah.
I think he means with Islam, not with the Middle Eastern countries.
Well, no,
exactly.
The catchphrase is Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East.
Do you feel sad about that, Alan?
What's so bad about that?
I think they mean
no, because Armenia is in the Middle East and it's the democracy.
Armenia is in Asia.
You better support Israel because it's a democracy.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No,
that's not what you're saying. Implicit in that phrase, which has been said over and over again, is you better support us because we're the only democracy in the Middle East fighting against all those others, which may be partly true. In any event, yeah, I looked it up. I always tell this story. In college, a good friend of mine from college was in my dorm room, and there was another guy he was Palestinian, but my friend who was Jewish didn't realize it. And this is in the 70s. When he realized it, he started freaking out. And for the life of me, I looked at the two of them and said, "You guys both look the same to me. Why are you fighting?" And I just looked it up. On Google AI, it says, yes, it's fair to say that many Palestinians and Jews share very similar physical features, which is why undercover operations are so effective in terms. So yeah, I mean, in order for Israelis to pass as Palestinians, I say it again, your brothers, your cousins, and you're still fighting. Having said that, so AI has confirmed something from 40 years ago for me, but yeah, having said that, I'll just say, as a Christian, I found that it is dangerous. If you're Christian and you're anti-Muslim, it is dangerous to put your loyalty in Jews. And if you're Christian and you're anti-Jewish, it is dangerous to put your loyalties in with Muslims. Because, the bottom line is Jews and Palestinians and Arabs are fighting each other. And that's their main focus. And they may both will look to Christians as allies. But I think, and they both make their points. But I don't think as Christians we should look at both with suspicion, because in a war, with the first casualty of war is the truth. And again, I'm hearing, just listening to Shai and Achek, talking about, to me, I don't know, and I'll leave with this. There's something I find offensive about Jewish people talking about what Palestinians should have done, and it's equally, I find it offensive when Palestinians talk about what Jewish people should be doing. I don't know why it's rubbing me the wrong way.
I hear you. You believe that it's paternalistic. That's what I'm looking for. You believe that it's paternalistic, I think.
Maybe you could. Or how about I'm just, tired of all the money that's being spent in that region over a battle that's gone on for, how long? Let me think.
70 years. 70 plus years.
No, 1,500 years.
1,500 years.
Yeah,
Listen,
look. As soon as I'm not an apologist for Muslims either. As Muhammad was a military dictator who disguised his military conquest as a religion in order to motivate his soldiers. That's how I look at Islam. And they've been fighting with everybody since its creation. So I'm not trying to play to the Muslim crowd either.
But
This is a battle that's been going on for centuries.
Well, if you say 1,500 years, right? Like, let's look at the parties at play for the past 1,500 years. The Romans, the Arabs, the Ottomans, right? Like, you're saying, yes, there are Jews there now, but like for the vast majority of that history, like Jews have been minority populations with zero control whatsoever. They've just sort of been like the Druze people, right? Just sort of wandering around and being pushed around with the greater Muslim or Christian populations.
Well, generally, as you said that, I would tend to agree with that. On the other hand, I saw this thing. It was either an article or a video, and it talked about how long, in which hands Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, which hands Jerusalem has been in. And it's something like Christians have only held it like 2,300 years. Like 230 years. And Islam has had it for maybe like 1,135. And then Judaism, it's had it for maybe 1,000 years. And I don't know, I bring that up only because in that region, it's the power structure and who's been in power has changed many times. And yeah, they've been in minority populations in other parts of the world. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it becomes kind of messy, really, when you talk about it. And that's my whole point. That at this point, it's like the Hatfields and McCoys. Why it started, we can trace it back, but it comes down to, well, they did this, but you did that, but then you did this.
That makes it seem like we're equal, Alan, but we're not. The Hatfields and McCoys, it was a presumption of equality. We wanted them to be equal, and they disdained it. They disdained the West. They belong to a suicide cult, Alan. This is the reality that's emerged since October 7th. We offered them a state many times. They walked away from the table. They don't want a state. They want to kill Jews.
And Norm, I know you find my equality statement, you don't agree with it.
No, but I think it's noble in sentiment, and it's how I felt before October 7th, so I understand it. And it's dispassionate and objective and equanimous. But I'm just saying that
You know what's funny?
It's not the
Before
case.
October 7th, remember, no, I used to disagree with you.
That's right. We used to fight. I said 2 states.
And I used to say it'll never happen because it's a terrible terror state.
And I had
so many arguments.
That's right. And I was wrong. I believed in them, and they disappointed everybody. They disappointed the world. Everybody thought, oh, we'll give them a state. They're going to be good neighbors. The land will flow with milk and honey. We're going to build hospitals and schools and technology, and they'll have this. They didn't want any of that. Look what they did to Gaza. Look what they turned it into. All the billions that flowed into Gaza, and they made underground tunnels to make war on Israel, which are now all being destroyed. All that money down the drain. But the same as Iran. We're going to. They put half a billion into that.
Yeah, but Norm, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And look, you said you used to think that, but after October 7th, you don't feel that. You know what? That's fine. Okay. However, I'm being interrupted here. Oh no, they're leaving. Here's the thing, though. I think that see, I don't, as horrible as here's what I was going to say. I can't change your mind on that, but October 7th is not in isolation. And when people do, regardless of how you view it, I'm not going to. I'm not going to say this is the way I view it.
It isn't in isolation.
So I agree actually with you, Alan. I agree with you that.
Just say it. If when people feel that they are not free, then they will do. Then nothing else matters.
Then they kill themselves.
Well, how many?
Alan,
What
kind of
sense does that make?
No, don't justify terrorism.
No.
October 7th was pure terrorism. They raped women. They killed a 9-month-old baby. Kafir, wait. How was it breaking out of the cage? Wait, Alan. They strangled a 9-year-old baby to death.
I understand.
Fuck that, bro. That's not fucking breaking out of the cage.
Alan, can I respond to what you said?
Bro, if I'm oppressed, I don't strangle a 9-year-old fucking
Here's
baby.
the only other thing I will say, which is name a war in which each side did not revel in the deaths of their enemy.
Yes, they did. They were celebrating, bro.
We don't on the death of our
bro, I looked at the video of Shani Look, and they were like, Allah Akbar, and like when they had the body.
They give out candy when they slaughter civilians.
Bro, did you see the body of Shani Look? They were saying, and the women were celebrating her fucking body, and she was like half fucking naked because she happened to go to a music festival. Fuck Gaza. Honest to God.
Look,
nobody they strangled a 9-month-old baby. Alan, the biggest children were 9 months fucking old. Nobody, they strangled them to death.
Paycheck.
Bullshit.
All right. So in the Armenian genocide, the Turks took babies from their mothers' arms.
Yeah, that's a horrible thing too.
Buried them up to their heads in the ground, and then marched horses over them in front of them. You don't have to tell me
The Turks are horrible people.
Brutal they can be.
Alan, I know this to be 100% true. What you're saying?
Yeah, I know.
I know this.
Alan, that's a horrible thing.
I know you know.
I read The Bridge Over the Drina by Ivo Andrić. They specialize in impaling, and they do it so that you don't die.
Norm, you know that I know it, and I know that you know. We both know it.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is this. And this is what I object to, is that I said it earlier. You weren't here. I think I said it. Peace has to be made. And it's going to be a peace that nobody likes. Jews won't like it. Israel won't like it. Palestinians won't like it. But that if nobody likes it, that means it's the one that's going to work.
Can I respond?
Because
do you usually purchase items and not pay?
We all know the history of the Middle East. We know the perspective of Jews and Israelis. We've heard the perspective of the Palestinians. Okay, we've been and for the dopes like us who are on Clubhouse, we've both heard all of these arguments over and over. These rooms never settle anything. Everybody's still pissed off, and the war still plods on. I don't know. I just think.
So, Alan, the problem is when you said October 7th, it didn't happen in a vacuum, right? And I agree with you. But also, Gaza didn't happen in a vacuum. Gaza was an attempt to say that again.
I said I agree too.
Yeah. So Israel has made concessions and has tried to do things, including remember if you don't know that when Israel was announced as a state and declares independence, there was also a vote to create a Palestinian state, but the Palestinians and the Arab League rejected it. So effectively, Israel's existence has always been seen as as a prison for the greater Muslim, for the Palestinian cause or Palestinian world. So
this isn't the World Peace Government on Clubhouse. It's low IQ hypocrites who can't stop promoting terrorism and politics. The law is never discussed.
And I understand. I understand that. Like their position, I understand their position was we don't want Jews there at all. And I think, and as I remember, I forget, it was during Trump's presidency, I think, that there was that the other Arab nations said, okay, we're done with all of this. We're going to start negotiating with and trading with Israel, and basically, cut the Palestinians. Before it was like, we're not going to do anything until the Palestinian issue is settled. And essentially the Arab nation said, well, no, sorry, we're done with that. We're going to start negotiating and normalizing relations with Israel. And I saw October 7th, to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but October 7th, to me, seemed like Palestinians were trying to force the hands of the other Arab nations. Like, no, trying to not force their hands, but disrupt that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And now I don't know what's happened with trade relations and normalizing relations with other Arab nations and Israel now.
There's still some trade relations, but a lot of this was also I say that people like to think about politics as being flat, right? Like sort of like what you see is what you get. But and the Arab world has their own sense of politics. I'm sure you're more aware of that than I am. With Hamas being part of the Muslim Brotherhood, as well as like Qatar and some of the other regional community leaders or whatever. So they have their own political realities, and some of them contributed to that. Some of them are outside of that, or on the other side of that. And I think that there's a push for disruption of normalization, not just with Israel, but with the West in general. I think some of it has to do with like personal politics and what do you call this? Personal desires versus and some of it has to do with more like religious eschatological desires. I think that there's something within like Islam that says if Muslims are the majority of the Muslim world recognize Israel, then like something bad is going to happen. Because I've heard many Muslims say that according to them, the country of Israel can't really exist because that land is part of the greater caliphate, and they need the caliphate to happen. I'm not sure how many of these leaders are taking that into account in their calculus, but I think it's something that's there behind the scenes.
I think immediately Israel has to worry about fresh water. This is why they're so interested in, Syria and Lebanon, part of it, because there's a huge lake there that has a lot of fresh water. And I believe some Israelis, leadership said their territory is not defensible, so they have to look at the expansions.
Israel has plenty of fresh water. We have been at desalination in this country, so we can take seawater and make it into fresh water fairly easily. And as a matter of fact, Israel has helped Jordan with their water issues as well.
70% of the fresh water in Jordan is from the state of Israel. What the hell are you talking about, Tiger? And 70% of the fresh water in Gaza, that you talk about all the time, is from the state of Israel. It's just ridiculous. I think
Tay ain't texting me back out. Type of shit. This shit going on. Right, guys.
Talk all the bullshit, somebody rebuttals you, and then you're like, oh, I don't care what you have to say. I don't give a shit. You call yourself Tiger, and you're a bitch ass, and I don't care. It's just the way it is, bro. The state of Israel is gonna exist whether you like it or not, bro. Go deal with Taiwan. Go deal with your country and everything. Go deal with not being a Han Chinese, bro. You're not even a Han Chinese. You're not even, bro. You're so retarded that you're not even a Han Chinese. You're such a retard that the Chinese government doesn't even like you. You're not even a Han Chinese, so shut the fuck up with your old bullshit and everything else like that. And you just sit here and you talk about the state of Israel. They're gonna be perfectly fine without you. What's up, people, bro? I didn't see you speaking. Yeah, he's not even a Han Chinese. You're like the nigger Chinese. You're horrible heretic. You're the West of the West. The Chinese government doesn't even fucking like you. Shut the fuck up with your bullshit. So don't come here and talk about the state of Israel and everything else like that. It's been just fucking fine, you know.
Wait, what's
so
the
what the hell are you gonna do about it? I mean, Beaver, what the hell is he gonna do about it? He's not even a Han Chinese. He's not even a real Chinese. He's like a fake big Chinese. Like, what the hell do I give a shit about what he has to say? I mean, go ahead, Tiger. You're not even a Han Chinese.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit who you are.
You're not a Han Chinese, you dirty scumbag.
You as a person is fucking stupid, okay?
You're not even a Han Chinese. Like, who gives a fuck what you're fucking saying, bro?
I don't care about
the Chinese government doesn't even fucking like you. That's why they ordered Alisa. Wait a second. That's why they ordered Alisa Chu and the other bitch from Timu. You're not even a Han Chinese. Shut the fuck up. He's not even a real Chinese. The Chinese government doesn't even like scum like you. Even me, with my passport, I can go to China for 90 days, free of visa. You can't even have 2 passports to go into communist China. You dirty scumbag. You're not a Han Chinese. At least you're a real Han Chinese. You'd be like 5'10", maybe like 5'5", 5'6", 5'4", 5'3", a real short motherfucking bitch, and you are talking like this? Fuck you, bro. The idea I would deal with you in like 2 seconds. I can't believe people like this talk that bullshit. Go ahead and find your Palestinian Kasumkum girlfriend, bro. Go ahead, Tiger. I don't know why you stop talking.
This guy's stupid or what? I mean, it's the first time I heard on this app that somehow I'm not Chinese anymore. But it's okay. I don't care what stupid guys think. You know, I'm just not interested to have a conversation with this kind of idiots.
Are you jealous of Americans?
He asked you a question. Tiger, he asked you a question. Why don't you want to talk anymore? He's such a yes. I told you he's such a bitch ass. He asked you a question, Tiger. Speak.
You could ask me questions. I don't need to tell me who's asking me questions.
Are you jealous of Americans? He asked you a question, you bitch ass. Speak.
Who's asking? Eva? Is that you? You were asking?
Yeah, are you jealous of Americans?
I'm fine with Americans. Americans are okay.
America's.
You were saying we were number 2, like in tech and science. You said we were number 2.
That's my nature index. You know what nature index is?
Nature index?
So I don't want to argue with you, Beaver. I don't need to argue with you on who's first and who's second. It's pointless.
It is pointless, that's correct.
Alan, I have a question for you. When the Eastern world, if they succeed in like destroying the Western world as they plan to do, which empire do you think is going to take over? Will it be the Chinese, the Arabs, or the Turks? Is the Turkish Empire going to return, or maybe the Russians?
Well, I believe it will be the midgets of Lithuania. That's who I think. They're plotting right now, and people don't expect it. I have no way to answer your question. I think as long as we don't have transporters like Star Trek, that the limitations of travel will prevent anything like that from happening. But if we get the transporters, so now I can imagine, I can just take my terrorists and beam them into the basement of the White House. And bye-bye. You know? I mean, that's one of the things, Star Trek touched on it with a couple of episodes, or maybe one in particular, where this super soldier who had been trained by his planet and created, they were now being kept in prisons, and he escaped. And it was an interesting episode. But he was literally like beaming just from place to place, causing chaos. I think that would be a problem. Until then, no, we still have limitations.
We have limitations, that's for sure. But people claim that America is like a hegemony who's controlling the world, the empire itself. And I look like in real reality, and I see that in the Middle East, Turkey's trying to rebuild the Silk Road. Right, it's all over like Turkish news and aspects of like the Arabic news. The Chinese, the Russians, and several other countries are involved in this BRICS currency, and which is not necessarily a big deal, but all of these countries who are also invested in opposition to the quote-unquote Western hegemony are also involved in this, and part of their goal is to devalue the dollar, right? And the value that America has, which if the American dollar does get devalued in such a way, most people in America will be living off of monopoly money. In theory, it could be like Zimbabwe money. It depends on like how far this goes.
Well,
I'm just saying like this is a possibility even without Star Trek and transporters.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've helped. Define the question. In this, your question reminds me that I saw a video in which it states, we've all heard the textbook stories of why World War I started, and because of the assassination of Duke Ferdinand, whatever. And that in reality, that was like the last part of a whole series of events. The main one being that England, the reason why World War I happened was because Turkey and the Ottomans were going to, or in the process of building a railroad exactly what you talked about, which would have recreate the new Silk Road. And if that had happened, it would have devalued England's maritime trade. And so that England, one of the things, as World War I started, they started getting that railroad, which had no military value. Its value was purely economic. So you see that same kind of thing happening again. And this is, we'll see what's going to happen with that. I think part of the U.S. hegemony springs from the fact that the U.S. is, except for nuclear arms, is essentially impervious to any sort of military attack. I mean, Mexico does not pose a threat to us. Canada, no. Besides, our hockey team just beat theirs, so in the Olympics. So yeah, we don't have to worry about Canada. I just have to dump that. And then we've got, two huge oceans on the east and the west coast. And I think that when you look at Europe and when you look at other parts of the world and the amount of energy they spend just in their own defense. And by energy, I don't mean money. I mean how much time people spend concerned about their own self-defense.
Hello.
I mean, that makes a huge difference, and that affects the psyche of a country. Wilbur and Orville Wright never had to worry that someone might attack them while they were tinkering with airplane wing design.
No, but military warfare helped to increase the design of airplanes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think, I was surprised to hear it was like within 5 years, they had a contract with the U.S. military. Very quickly after the invention of plane, because the military said, if we can fly above our enemy, that's an advantage. But anyways, I'm going off the top of my head. I think.
Are you worried at all about the Civil War situation?
What about the Civil War situation and where?
Yeah. What, in this country? There's not going to be any. There's not going to be any Civil War. In any event, I think it. Well, I think it all depends on how much the U.S. interferes with what they're doing and the way they do it, the way in which they interfere with, setting up BRICS and all of that.
I agree with you.
It's not a real thing, In China, we very seldomly talk about BRICS. It seems to be very much talked about in the West, because the West is a bit concerned. But BRICS is no alliance.
I've seen the Chinese financial TV, and they talk about the BRICS. It's not just an isolation of America. It's more so concerned by people who are economists and are financial economists, such as.
I mean, there are some talks, but we are aware BRICS is not a serious alliance, because if you put China and India in the same organization, India's not going to let China want to dominate a global currency. It's just not going to happen.
Well, they aren't alone. That's the part of the alliance, the fact that they aren't alone. I mean, I'm sure that once if in some imaginary world they get rid of America and amongst themselves, they will eventually go to war and fight it out. But I mean, I think that's more like it's the same thing with the Arabs. It's like once if in some imaginary world they get rid of Israel, they'll eventually kill each other until one dominates one another.
Well, look, I think the Middle East has always been a mess. And I think it's, it's hot.
But think about it, Alan. Like Nigeria is 50-50 country. It's 50% Muslim, it's 50% Christian. I actually don't think there's gonna be a so-called Nigerian state in the next 30 years. I think they're gonna break up. They're gonna have a very violent civil war. It's gonna be horrible. But the Nigerians, they're not gonna put up with Boko Haram in the north, the Fulani and all the other people. It's gonna be a very, very violent breakup. So I don't see that happening.
Are the Muslims gonna retake Armenia?
Armenia, hell no.
You know what? The what I've heard, Trump administration has just negotiated. They're going to invest like $9 billion. The U.S. is investing a lot of money in Armenia, way more than they have in the past. Now we'll see how that plays out. In 2020, Russia only intervened in the war in Nagorno-Karabakh only at the last minute. But since then, they've only done a minimal amount because of the with the war in Ukraine. So I think Trump, sensing that, has wanted to invest in that. Now, investing in their infrastructure is not the same as investing in committing military forces to its security. So we'll see how that plays out. But now it seems, as far as, what Trump is doing, it seems relatively stable.
Oh, that's good.
The thing is, the bottom line is this, is that the United, for a whole host of reasons, the United States is unique. And what makes it unique is its military power and its geographical blessings, as I spoke about earlier, that other countries can't compete with. And I know a lot of people have discounted the book. I forget the guy's name who wrote it, but it's Why the End of the World is Just the Beginning, or something like that. I mean, when you look at Europe, the United States, we wouldn't like it, but if we had to be, we could be self-sufficient. In the rest of the world, France, it's like France, and I forget, there's only a couple of other countries that are in that same position. And the reason is that, first of all, in terms of energy, France 20, 25 years ago committed itself to a nuclear program. And so now, even though those reactors are aging, again, they are investing in upgrading those. You look at Germany, there are factories in Germany now that are sitting idle because the cost of the energy to run them is so exorbitant. They can't afford them. And it's because they said, oh, we're going to go green. And now, they're basically deindustrializing themselves to their own detriment. So I think that's a reality, that the only other country that can be independent is Russia, I think, as I remember from this book. But I mean, the U.S., Russia have the landmass that they can make this work.
Yeah, but they would have to reimagine their economies also, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Like going to almost a total agricultural societies again.
Well, not maybe to a certain extent, but the resources are there. Even if we wanted to be completely agricultural, we could be. We have the landmass. Russia has the landmass. France also has, and part of it is which countries have the resources to feed their people. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. That's a big factor. I mean, if every country suddenly had to depend on its own resources to feed its people and keep them clothed and heated, heated in the winter, there are a few countries. So I think those are reasons why America, in spite of what others predict, I think America will continue to be the dominant force in the world. Well, maybe that was the longer answer that you wanted, but that's what came out off the top of my head.
No, I listen. As long as you don't have enemies trying to come after you, is everything is pretty good, right? So, and like you said, America's geography and the fact that it has good relations so far with its neighbors, immediate neighbors, puts it in a pretty decent position. But the issue that people don't like, people talk about America and like the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? Or America and I guess Venezuela or whatever. But a lot of that had to do with external factors, with like Russia trying to come in and persuade those countries to to develop some sort of allyship with it that put America in danger over the past 100 years, or a threat, I should say, not in danger, but a threat over the past 100 years. And that is the issue: was what happens if or when some of these external factors like rear their ugly heads again.
The thing is,
you try to destabilize the.
Yeah, because you mentioned about the World War I. You must be familiar with the theory about the world island, right? And you know about the competition between continental powers versus maritime powers. So in that theory, right, and consider today's America, America's benefited from, whatever system it is today, which is basically a U.S.-centered hegemony. And for you to talk about America, try to draw back to its own land and be a defensible agricultural self-sufficient power, that transition itself is already going to be very painful for America, who's used to this current level of standard of living already. Because a lot of that comes from its position in global finance and global trade.
Yeah, global finance and global trade. That's a good point.
But if you're around, could you bring Lawang up? Because he's a good friend of mine, and he's asking, just not sure if you're seeing it.
Thanks, Tiger. Thanks, Peter. Peace to the law. Happy to have all the people on stage. Peace.
The idea that America, the country that imports the most goods on earth pretend is the fattest country on earth is going to be a self-sufficient country, Alan, is laughable.
I'm so jealous. We beat the Canadian hockey team. Nana nanny boo boo. Ha ha. That's going to be my response to you, Giles, for anything you say.
Yeah. That's what I would respond to, because obviously, what are you going to argue against what I just said?
No, Jarl, we both said if you heard it, like I said, yes, it would take adjustment. Okay? But it could be done. I didn't say it would be
easy. Survive being fully self-sufficient, Alan. I think you know how silly that is. It's silly.
No, it's not silly. It's not silly at all. If
it is silly.
If let's say if international shipping got shut down, and we were no longer trading, if countries got isolated, let's say there's suddenly the Earth's oceans become so treacherous that nobody, that we can't ship from China and other parts of the world. We'd have to be self-sufficient. Every country would have to figure that out.
It wouldn't last 6 months.
Yeah, no, people would. Yes, I agree. We're all spoiled. But it's the,
Can someone explain the title, Alan? Hi, Alan. What's the title? Can you translate it?
I have no idea. We've progressed. The conversation has progressed for the last 3 hours, and somebody made me sleep. Probably because they fell asleep and I was talking. So there's no explanation.
Beaver's off. Beaver, are you sleeping?
It's anti-Semitism.
Yeah, Pepe made the title. Yeah.
There's a deal that looks like it's going to happen. Paramount's buying Netflix.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Was there anything about the war today on the news?
No, yes, but
about the war. China is selling advanced technology is going to defend Iran. The United States is going to cave. That's what happened with the war today.
I can't hear you.
The U.S. beat Canada in hockey. Canada now has nothing against the U.S., so Charles upset.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Loam, but the talks that are in the Western press about China selling anti-ship missiles to Iran, it was actually all negotiation, and they've been talking about it for over a year. And even if it was agreed to, the delivery would take months, and the training would take even longer. So I don't think it helps in today's situation in Iran.
No, I'm just trolling. But there was a
China's already sold them enough fucking measles. Like, it's like, why do you do that? I don't know. China's a retard.
Why does America give everyone weapons on Earth? Why does America kill everyone on Earth? What a stupid thing to...
Gerald, what's the last time people in America went out to protest and the government decided to kill 50,000 people in a day?
Dude, the government's been killing Americans?
Can you just shut the fuck up and listen?
No, you shut the fuck up! What are you talking about? You just made you ask me a question.
A government that kills 50,000 of its own people, send 300,000, 400,000 to hospitals.
Sounds like
100,000 people go missing. 100,000 people were
America killed a bunch of people, moron. America keeps killing people. America's killing humans right now. Right now you're killing me.
Gerald, I still don't believe what happened because it's like, how the fuck can you do that? Like, we sit down, we use AI, we try to fucking figure out how can you fucking kill 50,000 people in like 2 days. This
So,
is not a joke.
Can you tell me why whenever somebody brings up the number of deaths in Palestine, people like you will go, no, we can't trust the UN. We can't trust the UN. There's no evidence of that. But when it comes to Iran, there are 50,000 people dead? That's hilarious. That is laughable.
Okay,
That's so funny.
Beaver, you got a fucking mod. This is very disrespectful.
You know, I just feel like people like,
Hold on, actually, hold on. Gerald, it's fine to be a piece of shit. It is fine to be a piece of shit, but there's a time to just shut the fuck up.
No, this bro is so cool.
Okay,
You mad, bro?
there's nothing.
You mad?
Oh, you live on. You shut the fuck up too.
You mad, bro?
Everyone, every Iranian
I don't even know who this little one.
who
Who
was
the hell
killed.
is this little?
You guys need to shut up and let the Persian slut talk. Okay, then you guys can talk afterwards.
Wait,
Right.
who the fuck is
She
this
interrupted me.
cocksucker? Who the hell is this little one
Actually, stop. Actually, stop. Let Sarah go.
Bro, let her talk her shit.
You have to have a level of self-control. You know, like nobody hated Persians till yesterday. And just to come online and open your fucking mic and say, well, I don't know if that number is true or not, when everyone, every single Persian has been affected by this, be a human.
So where'd you get your what's your source for your number? Why should I believe your number?
Why don't you shut the fuck up, you dumb
You live in Canada. Hold on. Shut the fuck up. Let me tell Gerald. You live in Canada.
Why does everybody need to be quiet for her to shout at everyone?
Because
the Persian slut is speaking and she gets to speak. Shut the fuck up. My room, my rules. Faggot.
Go to Starbucks or somewhere. When you run into Persians, ask them if they know anyone who was killed. Don't ask them how many people were killed. Just ask them if they know someone who was killed. Everyone knows someone or knows someone who knows someone that was killed. If the number was 1,000, that wouldn't be possible. Just ask people if they know someone who was killed or arrested. Gerald, be a human being. My brother was shot in the neck. They didn't take him to the hospital because the government was going in the hospital and shooting people in the head. Be a fucking human. At least don't say anything. I do that.
I'm not allowed, so.
Sometimes. Listen, there are times that I don't like people or a group of people or a cause, but I just shut my fucking mouth. There is a level of, just be a human for once. What the fuck?
How long do we gotta let her monologue and yell at everyone
You
for?
can speak. You can speak. Go ahead.
I can speak now? Well, that was really dumb. You have no evidence that 50,000 people are dead. Normally, I would agree with you, but the fact that people like you always have to say, well, there's no evidence that 50,000 people being dead in Palestine, I'm just going to treat you the same way. Nobody cares, and there's no evidence.
Is Iraq Palestinian?
No, he just hates people.
He hates America.
I hate liars. I hate people who just make shit
He
up.
just called me a liar. You know what, Gerald? I've gone to Amir's room.
You gotta chill, man.
I have gone to Amir's
Chill
room,
out.
and I have told those nasty people, I have told them I've been wished for them to go through the pain and suffering that other people have gone. But I hope you through the same pain and suffering, and then you will because you seem like a fucking psychopath.
Great. Are you done? Useful or substance to say? Anything that you didn't repeat 18 times already?
This is not your fucking room, so just shut the fuck up and go behind your mic. I would never go to a room that you're modding, so shut the fuck up and don't tell me what to say or not to say.
Well, I'm just kidding. I'm just curious. The IRGC, do they rape women?
No.
They love men, so it doesn't fucking matter. They fuck men, women, girls, boys, everyone. They don't care.
But you can rape women. I don't know. Maybe I'll
they
sign
rape
up.
you too, Pepe. They've been raping more guys than girls, actually. Girls are missing. We don't know where the girls are, the ones that they've arrested. But they're fucking raping guys. There's a lot of guys with ripped asses.
You destroyed everything you just said by making up stuff. Making yourself sound less credible.
Sounds like they got the whole Spartan thing going.
It doesn't matter. You guys already don't want to, like, even just shut up and just pretend like, okay, I don't care about this. I'm going to pretend this not there. He called me a liar after I told him what happened to my brother in a room that replay is on.
Oh, shit. Replays are on?
Can you please shut it down, Pepe? Thank you. But it's like, you're just a fucking piece of shit. He literally called me a liar.
You are a liar.
No,
You're a liar.
What you are, Gerald. You know what you are?
Apologize, Gerald.
You're a fucking retard. That's what you
I'm
are.
not apologizing. When did you guys become such white knight feminine?
Gerald, you're going to hell. Gerald, you're going to hell. You're a very horrible fucking person. Terrible.
Shit. Your country is killing Cubans right now.
Terrible. Fuck you.
What happened? The Cubans said they killed like a few Americans.
Horrible. Fuck you.
I hope they kill more Americans.
This look one.
Let me tell you guys.
Anybody got a phone?
There is one thing happening in Iran right now. Iran's going to be the first country. Actually, listen to this. You're going to like this. Iran is going to be the first country that the college and university students are chanting, fuck the left, we want old Iran back. So they are literally saying, fuck the left, fuck the lefties, fuck the lefties. This is beautiful.
Do you think the left in Iran is anything like the left in America? Do you think those two things have anything in common? Because that's hilarious.
Yeah, the left is the left. What are you talking about? You fucking retard or something?
I think Charlie's
there's a concept of the Red-Green Alliance, and I don't mean like normal liberal people. I think like there's a concept of these leftist socialists who are embedded with Islamists.
That's why Jal and Alumbi are like bad buddies. Fuck both of them scumbags.
The revolution, but then the Islamists, they hijacked. So Khomeini, the guy who brought us IRGC, he was Islamist, but he had the leftist ideas. He had the leftist ideas. He pretty much said the same things Mamdani's saying.
Can't
It will
wait
give up
one
to
time.
like
I'll pay for your
justice
ticket.
for all, free rides.
Why don't you shut the fuck up when the Uber is speaking a little bit?
Free rides.
You guys become such feminists. So what if a woman is speaking? You guys don't care about
Shut
women.
the fuck up, Jal.
That is such a
Trying to
bitch,
say something. You dumb politics all day, every day.
Yeah, guys. We need to free we need to free them to IRGC so we can, I don't know, if I'm ever in the mood, which I won't be, to get like a blowjob from a hairy unibrow slut, I can go to Iran or some shit.
Or Italy. Pretty much the southern Mediterranean.
I can't believe I had to listen to a Hamas rapping Kosumkum like Ilumi. What a waste of time.
Again.
What's that accent?
Shit, bro.
You would get kicked out of America so fast, but
He's in South Sudan,
Bro, I go to America whenever the fuck I want to do. Whatever the fuck I want to do.
I sound more American. I have a more American accent than you, but
I go there whenever the fuck I want. I'll be wherever the fuck I want. You are a little bit like butt buddy. Shut the fuck up.
With the
You dumb
Zionists.
scumbag. Bro, you love Islamists. You love Islamists like you love like fucking like dick measuring.
End up arming
Shut the
all
fuck
of
up,
you guys.
Illuminati. I don't
So
care.
you guys can
I don't care,
celebrate.
bro. Oh my god.
Can
You
someone
retarded
tag Gerald?
scumbag.
Jarl likes pegging. Remember when he invented it?
He loves being pegged.
Yeah, John likes to get pegged
it's not that hard.
John likes to get pegged too. He's such another bitch ass.
You admitted it, Jarl.
triggered at you. Sorry, at you.
You admitted this, Gerald. Come on. Bro, you literally admitted it.
Yeah, when did Americans become such brutes?
Don't try to act hard like that.
Never had sex. What the fuck?
See, Gerald, because Gerald,
This is the green. Stuff like that.
this is the green red alliance.
Admitted loving getting pegged. Like, don't
Gerald,
act hard like
no,
that.
Gerald's just he's doing his straight up jihadi shit now. That's amazing.
Exactly.
I want to see him. Gerald, that would be really cool if you were like, who would like those Taliban guys like back in like the 1990s? They would like these grumpy old men would be like carrying sticks and they would just like hit every woman that like walked by them. That is so fucking cool.
Is it? Is that what you want?
Like I think it'd be cool. I'm 90 years old. I'm grumpy, and it's just like, what am I gonna do all day? It's like I'm gonna hit sharmutas with stick. That's all I'm gonna do all day.
I feel like going to one of these malls or something.
Yeah, I would. If I was 90 years old, I'd do it too. I just just hit these stupid sluts.
Just there to the kitchen.
Exactly.
This world has gone astray. Is that how you say it? Don't worry. Pray for us. We will bring about the scales again. And humanity can evolve to the next stage. We can rid ourselves of these time manipulators called rabbinic Jews.
I think Sarah woke you up.
Probably. I don't know.
What happened?
I just woke up.
Did I woke you up? Yeah, I started yelling. Because it's just like, what's wrong with Gerald? I hope you were trolling Gerald.
He's a Canadian piece of shit. What do you need to know about him? He's a piece of shit. Gerald's a Canadian piece of shit. Illumi, how are you going to rid us of all these rabbinical Jews? And why are these people that like to read books the problem? I just don't understand. What's the problem with reading books? When did you start wanting to commit genocide against people that read books, Illumi? Jeez Louise, Jesus Christ. Where's your compassion? Where's your loving, selfless kindness? Why are you such a genocider and occupier and, late-stage abortionist and everything else? I mean, you are exactly what you criticize. I just don't understand it. Do you have no self-awareness? Hello?
I just want to know if she has any global.
They kick me out of the kid.
What do you mean if I have any consciousness?
Do you feel any strong sentiment to any of the?
I feel sad for every single person.
Every
single. It is sad.
Try.
You name one. I know where you want to go. You want to tell me I don't care about the
just asking
Gaza?
a question.
You want to tell me I don't care
I
about
don't
the
care if
people
you don't
in
care about
Gaza?
Gaza. You could care about some other people. That's fine.
Let me tell you something.
Just
Growing up in Iran, I know.
It's never a direct answer.
Okay, why do you talk at the same time with me?
Because I'd like a direct answer.
So you don't want to hear the answer. You just want to fucking be a fucking dick.
If you calm down,
It's a very simple question.
This same Palestinian guy, Illumi, is going to come here and talk to a really right.
It's like they're going to move the goalposts right in front of you, bro.
Shut the fuck up, Illumi, and I'm coming.
And they're literally going to do it in front of the
shut the fuck up, you dumb cunt.
The audience, it doesn't matter. They're just going to do it.
For every Palestinian child that they gave them a gun
Palestine. Just tell me another people, any other demographic around the world.
How about this? Shut the fuck up.
Are you seriously living in a bubble? Is it that bad? You
really think that Israel just attacked Palestine on October 7th?
Jesus Christ, guys.
You have no fucking agency.
Wow, guys. Okay, let Sarah run her.
This guy is such a cunt. Fuck him.
Fuck up your cushy.
God damn it.
She's such a crash, bro.
Why can't
Bro,
I be
nobody cares, bro.
Come on.
She's trying to
Guys,
and she keeps talking about Palestine, fucking
Bernhard, it doesn't
fuck
I
you,
haven't
bro.
even been in the room for 15 minutes. I don't know why.
Exactly. This guy has been here for like 4
Actually, let her speak. We're trying to defend her. Actually, we're trying to defend her. If you just talk over her.
Palestine up your hole, bro. Nobody cares. Shut the fuck up and let her speak.
All I was saying was I feel sad about
Fuck
everything.
Palestine. Shut the fuck up and
bullshit.
let her speak.
Shut up.
I know you beat up
Why are
women
you
for
still
speaking in your cultures, but every culture.
Jesus Christ, actually. Like, let her speak.
To Israel so you can get.
God damn, Antioch. Let her. Jesus Christ. Let her speak, for fuck's sake. Okay, don't defend her while she's speaking. Like, holy fucking shit. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yell in the room again with the same talking point.
Gerald, shut your faggot mouth for a second and let her speak.
Yeah, I even feel upset for telling Gerald that I hope he goes through the same pain and suffering that I have gone through and other people. I really take that back. I hope nobody feels that pain because it's a very dark place. But in general, for what you said, I care about every single human being. I wish we could live in a world that there were no wars. I care about everyone. I don't know what you mean by saying something like that. Do I blame Israel for what's happened in Palestine? No, I don't. Who do I blame for what happened with Palestine? It's IRGC. Now, let me tell you something. Neither I can start a war, nor can you stop it. IRGC is going to be gone. One way or the other, the West has made that decision. They finally realize how dangerous these people are. They're going to be gone soon. And guess what's going to be gone with that? The trouble in Middle East. Somehow we're going to have peace. If there is no peace, I'm going to fucking join you guys' causes. Hold me to it. If next year today, because IRGC is going to be gone soon, if Israel is having the same issues, I will join you guys. I'm going to hold it fucking thing in my hand and say, fuck Israel. But guess what? I already know that once IRGC is gone, all of this is going to be gone.
Y'all bear witness. Y'all heard that, right?
Well, you know
by next year.
You know what bothers me? I don't know why you guys don't want
to interrupt everyone. Why
don't you guys want
speak over everyone?
Why do you bitch ass keep talking when she's talking?
If they just allow an equal playing field, but they're going to continue to stifle us.
You bitch ass just keep talking and talking and
keep doing what they're saying.
It wasn't even fucking done. You can stick your Palestine up your fucking hole, bro. It's about time. Iran is free after 46 years.
I'm not gonna get like I'm not gonna feel offended. I'm not gonna feel offended by it.
Palestine up your hole.
Why is it Israel sticking? Wow, you're a very bad African. Very bad. You don't know how living in the West, you haven't learned your manners. Wow. You don't know how to behave.
This guy's a little.
Wow. Here he goes. He's still going. Shush. So, I mean, I would say, I think that Israel's being very naughty right now. They're trying to drag us into a war. Oh, they're dragging us into war. That's a good thing. Amazing.
No. Israel should have just deleted them off the map.
Okay, but why do they have to have us go their enemy?
What prevented the United States from invading Iran after 9/11 and the 7 other countries? Why didn't we take out Tehran back in 2003, 2004? Why are we going to do it now? It's not going to happen. We're policing. We're containing. We're not going in. That type of war is over. You can't pull another 9/11 and expect us to fall for it again. Hello? I agree, Achek. Alumi is awful, he's horrible, and he's terrible. You hear that, Alumi? You're awful, horrible, and terrible.
You're horrible.
Kusumkums. That's like a Sudanese turd.
Sudanese are also terrible.
No, I think if anybody needs to win and come out ahead, it needs to be the Palestinians and the IRGC.
They need to come out ahead. How are you going to come out ahead when your country is a parking lot?
What? The IRGC?
How many countries?
I'm tired of it.
China.
You're tired of Israel. Maybe you're tired of yourself. It's a fucking reality, stupid. You should go to the beach in Tel Aviv and experience it sometime and say, you know what? These people got some pretty good style. It's a pretty nice country. Wow, they built a nice beach. It's a beautiful country. Yeah, comebacks. Olumi, you've been on here fucking mumbling. Can you pronunciate? You kept saying maybe it's not too late. Maybe the Palestinians can win this war. I heard you in all your delusional rooms, you schmuck. And where are they now? Where are they now? What are they going to do in the... Gaza! Gaza! It's a parking lot. They're charging for fucking parking fees.
Shut the coochie up now. Can we put him back in his cage? Cool. By the very parameters of the mission objectives that were established prior.
Parameters of the mission objectives? What are you talking about?
That established their mission objectives pre their attack on Gaza. So,
oh, they achieved their objectives at the Supernova Fest by slaughtering innocent young people. Wow, what an objective. Hello?
hello?
A partial objective of murdering people at a fucking concert. Hello?
I told you that Israel was killing innocent people. Remember when I told people that Israel was killing innocent people? Shut the fuck up. This is what I mean, that Israel is killing innocent.
You shut up, Jaro.
Actually, this is not a place for you to suck Israeli dick, okay? I know you like to suck Israeli dick. You love it more than anything. That's a horrible. That's a terrible.
How about you shut the fuck up and let me know.
That's a horrible, awful, terrible thing to say to Oddcheck. He's just got an opinion. He's not sucking any country's dick, Pepe. What an awful, horrible, terrible thing to say.
How the fuck did you win? Bro, Gaza is the fucking parking lot. Shut the fuck up. Nobody can even fly there.
It's uninhabitable. Uninhabitable. You can't inhabit it anymore. It's been ruined. It's a wasteland. It's a toxic garbage dump. It's uninhabitable.
They've already plans for Indonesian forces to enter by April.
Illumi. In Arabic, you don't even have to fucking
billions of dollars and a whole
it's Ramadan. It's Ramadan.
Committed to reconstructing Gaza and Palestinian Gaza.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I don't know.
It's a horrible thing you're doing.
We achieved
It is Ramadan. It is Ramadan, Achiak, and so that means you should not be eating meat, okay, during the day, and, by sucking Israeli dick. You need to stop. You sodomite.
Fucking see,
I'm not a
kiss my hand
Muslim.
and
I
then
don't
kiss
give a
my
shit,
teeth.
bro. Ramadan is just skipping lunch. They eat a big breakfast, they skip lunch, and they eat a big dinner. Who gives a shit? As Catholics, we have learned too. You know? Thank you for skipping lunch. Thank you for skipping lunch. It's so great. You eat a big breakfast before sunrise, and you're like you're so special.
Your people didn't even know what Catholicism was less than 100 years ago.
And you're like, I'm fucking fasting. Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. Nobody cares. I hope this weekend that the United States finally liberates Iran. You know what I mean? Fuck Ramadan. Nobody cares about Ramadan. It's fucking Easter. It's Easter. Shut the fuck up, Illumi. It's Easter. I don't give a shit about Ramadan. It's Easter. Shut up. It's Easter.
I don't give a shit.
You're in the United States of America. If you're gonna give a shit about Ramadan, Go to fucking Saudi Arabia or go to Saudi or whatever.
I still can't believe you chose Norma for me. Hey, check.
I didn't.
Hey,
I
chick.
said both.
Hey, chick. Once IRGC is gone, we're going to have 80 million less Muslims in the world.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much.
Iran doesn't have an Islam problem. Islam has an Iran problem.
80 less million.
How many innocent civilians will have to die to regime change Iran? 1 million, 10 million, 30 million, 100 million, 300 million. How many innocent civilians will have to die to liberate Iran from the Islamic jihadist terrorists controlling the country? 30 million. It's a heavy price to pay. 40 million civilians.
The Shias, they're only 150 million, and majority of them are converting out of Islam.
Converting out of Islam.
I mean, the less Muslims and the less Jews there are in this world, the world would be a better place. But that's another topic, guys. You know.
Yeah, that's another topic. I don't know about the
I just convert to Catholicism, Pepe, and I come to you with the hammer of the church.
Pepe,
And
why
so,
do you replace on?
regardless, it's going to be under God, whether it's under Muhammad or Jesus or Moses.
Can you turn off the replays?
I thought I did turn them off. It says hidden. Hold on a second.
They've already expired by now, right?
Let me
Liberal ways will not continue.
share room. More replay options. Disable replay. There we go.
Is Ray sleeping?
Nah, I can say the N-word.
Don't say the N-word. What is wrong with you?
He's allowed to say nigger only once in my room.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I can't believe you did it again. PP.
Shit,
My room's for free speech. You're allowed to make fun of. Hold on, check, shut your mouth. We are allowed to talk about blacks and Jews and Muslims, and we're allowed to make fun of them in my rap. You're not. Nobody's off limits.
Kicked, right? And no one
Yeah,
gets
that's right.
dropped.
You can say what you want about white people. That is fine. But you cannot say, oh my God, why did you say that about my group?
Myself, right?
Nobody's off limits.
Well, Gerald
Yeah,
said
I
he
saw white
doesn't
people.
care.
I'm white. Beaver's not white. We can insult him.
Beaver's not white, really?
We'll stick to the sheep then.
You really gotta sit here on Ramadan. Ramadan is just missing one.
What's Ramadan? What the fuck is Ramadan? Why do you promote Ramadan?
I don't give
living like
I don't Illumi, shut the fuck up 1 second. I don't give a fuck about Ramadan. You wake up early in the morning and you have the biggest
went to
and you have
Australia.
shut the fuck up for a second.
And you're still
Like
about
you're
Ramadan.
such a dumb fuck, like nobody cares. You wake up early in the morning, you have the biggest fucking breakfast and you skip lunch and then you have the biggest fucking dinner. After dinner, and you're just like, oh, I'm fasting. I don't care about your damn fucking pedophile prophet and everything else like that. I don't care. I am waiting. What the fuck would I fast? If you think I look like I pray to like a pedophile prophet, give me a fucking break. No fucking way. I don't give a shit about Ramadan. You really think I'm going to be praying for a pedophile prophet? Give me a break, bro. Shut the fuck up with your bullshit. I don't care about Muhammad. I don't care about Allah, Jinnah, and all the Kasumkum bullshit that you talk about. Nobody cares, bro. You can say everything you want. I am waiting.
Kasumkum.
And I am praying for Iran to be free. You know? The second Iran is free, I'm booking my tickets for Isfahan. I saw Isfahan on like YouTube, and I'm like, you know what? I need to take wait, shut the fuck up for a second. I'm like, I need to take my missus there for a holiday. It looks beautiful. The food looks amazing. The people are incredible. You know, Iran is like one of those. Shut the fuck up. Iran is one of those hostage countries that we're waiting for. Like Syria is a terrible terrorist country.
awful, horrible, terrible. It's just awful, horrible, and terrible.
Yeah, hydrogen.
Nurse. So then there's two messiahs in there. There's the
Megatron never sleeps. Okay, everybody, it's JohnForCongress.com. Hope you enjoyed this another amazing bonus podcast episode. Go to JohnForCongress.com.